Podcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twit.
Hi, this is Leo Laporte, and this is my Tech Guy podcast. Micah Sargent and I did this show originally on Saturday, October 29th, 2022, broadcast coast to coast on the Premier Networks. This is episode 1939. Enjoy. The Tech Guy podcast is brought to you by Adigy, the only Apple device management platform that combines MDM with live agent capabilities to manage and secure your Apple ecosystem, regardless of your Maxpertise. Visit Adigy.com/twit for a free 14-day trial to see how Adigy helps you manage your Apple devices in real time, because IT problems can't wait. And by Noom. With their psychology-first approach, Noom Weight empowers you to build more sustainable habits and behaviors. We love it. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/twit. Well, hey. How are you today? Leo Laporte here, the Tech Guy. Yeah, it's Tech Guy time. Tech Guys time, because your Tech Guys are here. Micah Sargent and Leo Laporte.
Hello.
Hello, Micah.
Hello to you.
I haven't seen you in ages. You took last week off. The week before, I wasn't here.
Or I think reverse.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Oh, I was in Vegas
You were in
last week.
Vegas last
I was in
week.
Vegas.
Yeah, how was that?
I saw Katy
giant
Perry.
toilet?
I'm a kitty cat.
Oh, is that what they're called? The
Yes.
Katy Perry fans.
I'm a Katy cat.
Professor Laura and I were talking about how it used to be. I used to think, if you are an artist in residence, that's kind of like you've passed your prime.
Yeah, not anymore.
Yeah, when you think about it, you get to be in one place. You get to build up the set exactly as you want it. You get to do it the same way. You're not having to travel. It actually sounds like quite a...
And you're missing the most important thing. You get, in the case of Katy Perry, $168 million.
Woo!
More than $2 million a show.
Holy moly.
So there's another good reason.
Yeah, another good reason to do that.
Yeah. It was fun. It actually made me think about what it takes to be a performer in the modern era of social media.
Okay.
Used to be, if you were a rock and roll band, for instance, let's say the Rolling Stones, your first job was to get on the radio. Get on the radio so there's airplay. And then actually your first job before that was to sign a deal with a record company, because only the record company could get you on the radio. And the record company also did something really important. They paid for studio time, because in those days, recording a record required hundreds of thousands of dollars of studio time.
Right.
And, my little rock and roll band, Leo and the Code Jammers, couldn't afford the studio time. So we played a lot of clubs and hoped that somebody from Artists and Repertoire, A&R at a record company, will come to see us and say, "You guys are good. I'd like to sign you to a deal. And then here's a check for the studio." By the way, the deal involves, sad to say, a little creative accounting, such that all the expenses come out of your royalties ahead of time, plus anything else we decide to take out. So the artists almost always in these deals get nothing, and worse, don't get to keep the masters, the originals of their songs. All rights go to the record company. So,
Lovely.
So many artists in this era, and this comes up right till almost the modern times, just got nothing, but they got the deal. And the record company got airplay. And then what do you do after you get airplay? You're starting to sell albums. Now you have to tour. You have to do concerts. And that's how you became famous. Now, I'm looking at Katy Perry, and I'm thinking, even she is kind of old school. But one of the most important things these days, you don't need the record label for one thing, because you can record it in your basement.
Right.
With your laptop. Look at Billie Eilish, who basically, she and her brother sat in their bedroom making music. And you don't really need the record company to get on the radio, because you don't need to get on the radio anymore. You just need to somehow build a fan base. And this is what Katy Perry did so well. Taylor Swift, I think, pioneered this, and any modern group does. You have to build up a fan club, and it's social media that makes it. If you look how these modern artists, for some reason, it's mostly women. The guys don't seem to. Justin Bieber did it. I mean, he did this all from YouTube.
Yeah.
Lil Nas X did it all from SoundCloud and TikTok. TikTok's probably a really good place to do this.
Yeah, you see a lot of music deals these days from that. Or albums.
You don't need a
being released
deal.
from that. Yeah, no deal.
Stop with the deal thing.
Yeah, get out of that.
Get out of the deal thing. Then you need to build the fans, right? And the fan base is really the most important thing, these devoted fans. When I went to see Katy Perry, this is an expensive show. I don't know, front row tickets were $400 or $500. They're expensive. There were people in the front row, young people who probably don't have much money, who had seen the show 3, 4, 5 times.
Wow.
There was a couple in front of us from Mexico. Their front row came from Mexico, had this was the 4th night in a row they'd seen it. Probably they went, because it was her last show was the night after we went. So probably they went all 5 of the last shows, right? So those people, and you build them through social media, I'm convinced, you not radio, not touring, but through social media, those people become, and it doesn't have to be a lot, maybe 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, but that's your fan base. They're the ones who become your ambassadors. Look what Taylor Swift does. She'll go to people's houses with thank you baskets. Mm-hmm. She's not dumb. She's very, very smart. So it's interesting how social media has changed the record business. That and trends like record labels, finally kind of becoming less important in the age of iTunes and Spotify, and radio stations, sadly, becoming less important. So Elon Musk owns Twitter.
Oh, boy.
That happened
nothing
fast.
is broken yet, but yes, that did happen fast, and we quickly saw his team of coders from Tesla saying, "Okay, you all need to print out the last 50 to 60 pages of the code that you've submitted." And over the past, I think, 10 days or something?
60. I think they had 60 days.
Yeah, up to 60 days. And then apparently they said, "Oh, actually, you don't need to print it out. You can just show it to us on the computer." And it was a back and forth there.
They wanted him to print it out and show it to Elon.
Yeah, so that they could go over
of course, knows not one thing about what he's seeing. In fact, I guarantee you all Elon was looking at is how many pages. Like, how much did you do for me lately?
Yeah.
Not the quality of the code, the importance of the code. Nothing.
And I think it's also a bit of an ego boost to have all of these people standing in line with these pages going, "Okay, now it's my turn. I have to come in and scrape and bow."
So Twitter hasn't changed much. They did fire the chief executive officer, the chief financial officer, the chief counsel, the lawyers, and perhaps most importantly, the woman in charge of trust and safety.
Yeah.
Because honestly, the complaints most people had, especially myself, about Twitter was the lack of trust and safety there. And I think that advertisers, more importantly, cared a lot about that. Already General Motors says, "Yeah, we're gonna wait and see what happens before we buy any more ads on Twitter." Ads on Twitter don't work that well anyway. It's easy to say, "Yeah, we're not going to buy any more ads on Twitter," because it probably doesn't save you that much money. But we want to wait and see, because brands don't want to be sitting next to racist, homophobic, transphobic speech. They don't want to be next to that stuff.
Right.
Because it reflects badly on them. You don't put an ad next to that. So I think that this is going to be an interesting challenge for Elon Musk. My friend Neela Patel wrote a very good piece.
Absolutely.
On the Verge, title of which was "Welcome to Hell." He posed, I think, in a couple of thousand words, exactly the problem Elon's going to have. The subtitle was, "You break it, you buy it." And Neil writes, "Twitter is a disaster clown car company that is successful despite itself. And there's no possible way to grow users and revenue without making a series of enormous compromises that will ultimately destroy your reputation, Elon, and possibly cause grievous damage to your other companies." His position is you can't. Elon said, "Free speech. We're going to open it up. No more deplatforming people. But you can't turn off moderation and get advertisers." Elon spent a lot of money, $44 billion, needs to make that money back, I would submit.
Yeah.
He's not a
the legal
fool.
fees, too, on top of the money that was spent.
Yeah. Maybe he is a fool, come to think of it. He tried to get out of it. I mean, I think it was a very impulsive thing, which he tried to get out of, realized he couldn't, bit the bullet, bought it, owns it now. I thought there might have to be regulatory approval, but I guess if you just buy it as a personal thing, like
part of a company,
nobody's going to have, there's no regulatory approval on me buying an ice cream cone.
Right.
Because it's my money. Anyway, no, I guess he's in, and he came in with a kitchen sink for some reason. I think it was just a bad dad joke. Let that sink in, he said. And he's carrying, and it's apparently very heavy because he immediately puts it down. Anyway, his problem is going to be, okay, either you moderate it and you kick off the bad actors, which is going to turn the right against you.
Right.
Or you don't moderate it and you're going to lose your advertising revenue. What are you going to do, Elon? What are you going to do? And it'll be interesting to watch. Let's just put it this way. It's going to be interesting. Nilay ends his article. Anyhow, welcome to hell. This was your idea. He says, and I think this is really good. The essential truth of every social network is the product is content moderation. That's the product, not the software that they're showing Elon on their printouts. Printouts? Tell me where there's a printer in this building. Printouts? Does Elon think it's going to be tractor feed? Like he's going to be green, red and green, white and green lines, and he's going to be all piled. He's going to be going, no, there's no printouts. I haven't printed my code in 100 years. When did you?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, sorry. I'll slow down. That's not the product. The product sort of is us, the people using it, because we create the content on it. But honestly, what Twitter brings to the table is how it shapes that. That's what Facebook brings to the table. That's what TikTok brings to the table. YouTube. That's the job, a.k.a. content moderation. Nilay says, everyone hates the people who decide how content moderation works. Content moderation is what Twitter makes. It's the thing that defines the user experience. Do you want to know why YouTube videos are 8 to 10 minutes long? Because that's how long a video has to be to qualify for a second ad slot in the middle. That's content moderation, baby. Again, Nilay Patel nailing it.
Yeah, you have got to read this piece. It's really good.
So this is why it's going to be very difficult for Elon. And it's going to be great fun for those of us on the sideline. The only sad thing is Twitter has a lot of value. To groups that are marginalized and don't have a voice, there's something called Black Twitter.
Yeah.
That, by the way, is fantastic. It's the best Twitter.
Yeah.
It's hysterical. But it's a voice for people who are marginalized, don't have anywhere to say it. Now they can say it. And more importantly, they can say it to their group.
Their people, yeah.
Their people. Their peeps.
I mean, Twitter has my biggest following. And so that definitely plays a role in how I feel about and use Twitter.
Yeah.
But it is one of these situations where there was just the piece about how Twitter was kind of worried that its quote unquote heavy tweeters, the people who tweet, I think 3 to 4 times a week or more, are dropping more and more. And I used to be a heavy tweeter.
I did too.
I very rarely
I have half
tweet.
a million followers. I should be a heavy tweeter.
Right.
Because that's a big group of people. But yeah.
And it's honestly because every single thing that you put out there, then you think about all the different things that are going to be used in some awful way, or someone's going to say something horrible to you, and it's just like
I stopped reading the @ replies. I just ignore what people say. I just post, which is broadcasting, and that's not what Twitter's about.
Right,
and it's sad. So that's kind of where we come. I don't want Twitter to go away. I want Twitter to survive. I hope Elon can find a way to make it work. And by the way, Elon, I'm the chief twit. You're not the chief twit. I'm the chief twit.
Look at me.
Look at me. Who's the captain now? We'll see what happens with that. Let's just say I've been on the phone to my attorneys. That's what you say, by the way. If you want to scare people, you say attorneys, not lawyer.
Oh, that's good to know.
I have one lawyer. I've been on the phone to him, but actually I didn't even phone him. I just emailed him. I said, can he do that? Twit, in case you don't know, is the name of my podcast, our podcast network.
Really?
Yes. This Week in Tech.
Oh, it stands for something.
And I've trademarked it. Trademarked it in 2005 before Twitter even existed, years before. And I have been the chief twit. It's on my business cards. And I've been the chief twit since at least 2007. So Elon, you can't use my trademark as your title.
I just realized there's no TM on there. How come?
Oh, TM Schmeem.
I see.
8888 Ask Leo. Ask Leo and Micah. 888-827-5536. Toll free from anywhere in the U.S. or Canada. I'd love to hear your calls. Let's not talk about Elon. Let's talk about anything else. Your calls next. Chat room. I love the chat room. Leo, you will always be the chief twit to me. Yes, I will.
It's twitty.
I have no intention of suing the richest man in the world. That seems like a bad idea.
Yeah.
So, fortunately, we have an agreement that we can refer to.
That's good.
So, and there is language in the agreement about remedies. So, we'll just see. We'll pursue those.
Doctor, I could use a remedy.
Remedial. Oh, I click. Somebody said I click. Whistle through my teeth or something. Stop me if I whistle through my teeth.
Oh, you do that a lot, but it's
I do that a lot.
Very quiet.
I'm an old man.
No, it's just.
I said I'm going to turn off the microphone because I'm just the stuff that you're watching. This is not the show.
Mm-hmm.
This is the stuff that happens behind the show. This is me mumbling to myself.
Yeah, and also it's just. It's fine. I don't.
Well, I'm going to stop. I'm going to try to stop whistling,
breathing.
singing, and breathing.
Yeah, it's not even a full whistle. It's more like.
Lisa suggested that instead of he should either drop the W in Chief Twit. I thought maybe replace the I with an A, but he can't be Chief Twit. I'm Chief Twit. I don't know. Can you trademark a title? I mean, I've trademarked Twit. The real concern is I don't want people on Twitter using the word Twit.
Right.
It's already a problem. It's confusing. So,
yeah,
anyway,
absolutely.
Yeah. Micah has a nose whistle.
What?
I did test this morning, Micah. You'll be glad to know.
No, I don't
I
have
thought
a
I
nose
might
whistle.
have that RSV thing.
What's that?
Oh,
great. Now I've got a new thing to look up.
So we're worried about a triple epidemic. RSV, which is rhino syncytial virus.
I'm reading respiratory.
A respiratory syncytial virus.
Syncytial.
Yeah.
Syncytial.
Well, I don't know how do you pronounce that,
The
Dr.
CDC
Mom?
says syncytial.
Syncytial, okay. And flu. So COVID-19, RSV, and flu, the triple epidemic. But RSV is basically a cold. It's a cold. And I don't have a cold. But I noticed I had some, sneezing and coughing and dripping. Syncytial.
Oh, it leads to bronchitis. Interesting.
Well, it can. You know how that is. A cold can lead to
It's the most
bronchitis.
common cause of bronchitis.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But mostly among kids and old folks. I am not a kid.
I've got my flu shot and my
I am an old
94th booster.
It's bad for babies, I understand, but nobody in this room is a baby, right?
Right. Wah. Great minds or something. Respiratory syncytial virus is a common respiratory virus.
Yes. We used to call them colds, I think. Anyway, stay away from me because you are a baby.
I thought that
Kim
was
Schaffer.
rhinovirus.
What?
No. As a young person, I am dangerous to you.
I don't know.
I don't think that's true.
You've got an RSV test in your home?
Is there an RSV test?
I don't think so.
I don't know. Dr. Mom can answer that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
I have, but I did anyway. I just want to tell you, I tested and I am in the clear.
Oh, good. Oh,
I
they
actually
do have an antigen test.
I had to test twice because the first time, how you have your little dropper and you're supposed to drop it, I squeezed the dropper too hard and went.
Oh no! It's like soaks
it all fell out. So I said, "Oh, I got to do it again."
Back in Philly, it's Micah with a K.
Micah with a K, not Micah with a C, because Micah with a C is Micah. Remember Liza Minnelli? Liza with a Z, not Liza with an S, because Liza with an S is Lisa. This must be a very old song.
Sounds 80s-ish.
It's got that feel, doesn't it?
Well, the dime, a dime. When's the last time you paid a dime?
For anything?
In a payphone. When's the last time you used a payphone, for that matter?
You were listening to the lyrics. I was not.
My mistake.
No, that's good.
We play a phone song every morning for Kim Schaffer, our phone angel. Hello, Kim.
Hello. How you doing?
I do not have rhinocyncytial virus or whatever that is. You might think I do, but I don't. Anyway, I won't breathe on you.
You probably just have allergies.
That's the excuse
That's
around
been my
here.
excuse for 4 years.
I'm not sick. I just have allergies. Anyway.
But really, the allergies are bad.
Are they bad again? They're always bad.
You got to get the app, Leo. There's a great app.
The allergy app?
The allergy app. We'll talk about that later. Sorry. It's a little distraction there.
Kim, who should I start this fine show with?
Well, we got our friend Mike B on the line.
From New Jersey?
Piscataway.
From Piscataway, New Jersey?
Yeah. New
He doesn't
Jersey.
talk like that. I do.
No, he does not.
Thank you, Kim. Hello, Michael B.
Hey, Chief Twit and Micah.
Hello.
How are you?
Oh, I am doing fantastic. Oh, and not to extend the talk of you-know-who, but I think GM pulled out of advertising because of Tesla.
Oh, that's interesting. That's another point
Fair
that
consideration.
Neil made, is that Elon Musk has businesses in China, big business in China and other countries, and he's forgetting that Twitter's international.
Mm-hmm.
And he is probably going to have to kowtow, so to speak, to the CCP if he wants to keep doing business in China. India, same thing. They've got huge leverage against him. So anyway, who cares? It's just Twitter. Are you on Twitter, Mike B?
I do have an account.
Do you ever use it?
I'm more of a Facebook guy,
Yeah.
but
Twitter's good for like if somebody tells me somebody died, like when Jerry Lee Lewis,
yeah.
I go immediately to Twitter.
Check that it's true.
And of course, Twitter is sometimes wrong about these things.
I stick with real news for that stuff. But
real news is slower than Twitter,
so
right?
slow.
In fact,
Yeah, but it's more
when
accurate.
Queen Elizabeth passed, the royal family tweeted it. They got it. The Twitter got it faster than the BBC. That's pretty amazing. So there's some value. I'm just pointing out there's some use to Twitter.
yeah, I suppose there is. So, against the advice of so many people on YouTube, I decided to go out and get myself the new M2 iPad Pro. But let me preface it by saying that I haven't bought an iPad since 2016, so for me, it was a really big upgrade. Yeah. And I am very happy with it. It's faster. It's faster than, I think, in some ways, than my Mac Studio, because it has an M2. It's great. I accidentally bought the one with 1 terabyte of storage, which
Accidentally?
is
Did your finger slip?
I was quick because I sort of kind of shell-shocked from, if you wait more than 5 minutes, you're not going to get it.
I always make mistakes at the Apple Store. Send it to the wrong address and stuff because I'm just like you. I'm rushing.
Yeah.
Same thing. So, I did it like, I said to myself, I hope I picked the right iPad. So I wanted the 11-inch. I got myself the 11-inch. Came on the 26, right on time, and it's been fantastic. I'm not one of those people who likes to migrate their data from old to new. I'm because I don't like to bring over all the junk. So for the most part, I set it up from scratch. But the transfer process, keep in mind the last iPad I got was 2016, is so easy these days. It's great.
Can you hang on, Mike B? We got to take a break. We've got Scott Wilkinson coming up, but we could talk to you more in a bit.
Sure.
Leo and Micah, your tech guys. So you did the Twitch transfer, did you do? How did you do the transfer?
So basically, I didn't transfer the apps over. I transferred my account over. So I did the thing where you put the two iPads next to each other after you sign in with your Apple ID. Mm-hmm. So I just moved my account info, and then I just set up the apps that I knew I needed from scratch. So I got the iPad, I got the Magic Keyboard, and the Apple Pencil too. So I've been giving Apple a lot of money this year, in the fact that I also got a Mac Studio display and the Touch ID Magic Keyboard. So, I've been good to myself, but I figured, hey, I only turned 50 once. Might as well go ahead.
Happy birthday, Mike.
Well, it was in March, so my real birthday present was the Mac Studio. But I am really pleased. I like the hover feature.
Yeah, isn't that cool? But you're using an Apple Pencil 1. You can't use the 2 with it, right?
With the iPad Pro, you can use
Oh, he got the Pro.
Yeah.
Oh, you did right
all the
by
way.
yourself. Oh, yeah. In fact, that's really what I think people are saying is don't get the iPad nothing.
Yeah.
Because you can't use the Pencil 2.
I don't understand that whole decision? What's
it's
Apple
weird.
thinking with the, yeah,
But the
it's
iPad
weird.
Pro, if you didn't get it last year, I think the only thing people are saying is if you already have one, don't get one. But you don't have one. I think
Well, I
the
had
iPad
I had
2016
a 2016 iPad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not like
Equivalent, you know.
Yeah.
And the hover thing, I've been able to do that on my Samsung S20 for the last 2 years.
Ironic, isn't it? Yeah. The S Pen's always done that. Yeah.
So I don't play in one ecosystem, right? So I'm a Mac guy who uses
I've
Windows.
heard that about you, by the way.
So either it's a lot of pain or I just find ways of making everything work. And what's great about it is when a new feature comes, I tend to get it in the ecosystem that has it first. So in the case of Hover, and to be honest, I don't really use the pencil that much, the stylus on my phone that much, but the Apple Pencil I do use a lot.
Okay.
Because the use case is very different between the two. And
I think you did the right thing, don't you, Mike? I
Yeah,
think that's
absolutely.
A nice upgrade.
That's a good get. Yep.
The only problem I have the last year's iPad Pro, the M1 version, is it's too good for the software available.
Yeah.
that's true.
If you were already rocking it, then it's hard to justify that upgrade for you and I, it's like we get Hover, and that's pretty much it. It's new.
I do not for if you have an M1.
Yeah.
But if you don't have an M something iPad, I think it's worth it.
Absolutely.
And I think if do you do photos? Because it's really the best photo device. It's better than anything.
When I start traveling again, definitely. It's good for photos. Photo apps are great on it. Excuse me. I use it for multimedia consumption, some social networking. I'm more of a TikTok watcher, if you're talking about social media.
Yeah.
But it's great for media consumption.
Absolutely.
And if I don't want to lug around a laptop, it's portable and it does pretty much everything that I need it to do, on the go. And very happy with it. And you keep in mind, I'm not the type of person who buys something new every year. So for the fact that, I went 5 years, these things last.
Oh, yeah. You will definitely get 5 years out of this.
And the one thing I can absolutely must recommend to anyone who can hear me, if you have an old Mac, trade it in. I got $750.
Nice.
$750 for my 2013 trash can Mac.
What?
Whoa. That's
Yes.
really
And I
nice.
gave mine away. Dang it.
See, Leo, I know you're the wrong person to talk to because you do the right thing. You give it to your friends and family.
I gave it to
coworkers.
Nathan Oliveris Giles, and then he took a job at Apple. I was cheated.
These things hold. I think I can get either 100 or 150 from my 2016 iPad if I decide to do the same thing. Absolutely worth
So
doing.
trade-ups are definitely, and you did it with Apple. Oh, hey, I got to run. Thank you, Mike
Okay,
B.
thank you.
Let's talk about our brand new advertiser. We want to welcome Addigy to the Tech Guy Show. Addigy, ADDIGY, helps you do more than just manage your Apple devices. Addigy is the only fully cloud-based multi-tenant Apple MDM platform designed for scalability. Everybody these days is in a BYOD environment, right? Bring your own device. How many Apple devices are you managing? Would you like an MDM for Apple? Addigy gives you the features, the functionality, the flexibility you need to customize and manage your Apple devices as you want, as you wish. So you can ensure your Apple infrastructure is optimized to best support your environment and help your team be as productive as possible every day. Addigy helps simplify Apple IT management by creating a solution that's so flexible, so customizable, any IT team can use it to easily maintain and secure the Apple devices in their managed networks. Addigy helps you ensure every Apple device, and not just phones, but Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more, are secure, supported, and ready to scale. What makes Addigy different? Well, zero-touch deployment, for one. You don't have to walk down the hall. You can get your new members onboarded securely in under 5 minutes. Secure authentication with trusted providers means you can eliminate security gaps with tested, authenticated features users can rely on. You've got real-time device monitoring with automated remediation. That means you can manage devices in real time, resolve issues automatically before they cause downtime. You can also customize the compliance features. Yes, full set of compliance features. Enjoy peace of mind knowing your Apple infrastructure is always compliant, always up to date. And you can free your IT team from endless reset requests with 24/7 user access to resources and applications. Let them do their own self-service, which is great. You've got all the patch management you could ever need, prevent delays, fix bugs early, maximize uptime by rolling out new updates and patches ASAP. In this world, that's really important, isn't it? Plus, it's easy to customize. You can scale it to meet any needs, adapt to any environment, fast, free, catered migration. I like that. I don't think that means you get breakfast here, but I think they mean we'll cater to you. And an MDM tool that works as hard as you do at the speed of now. So get started today with Adigy's award-winning support. When you partner with Adigy, you get white glove support from a team of experts who live, eat, and breathe Apple. That's the other thing. So many times you use a solution that Apple is a second-class citizen. This is not the case here. They care about your success as much as you do. Adigy is not a cookie-cutter MDM solution. They're kind of obsessed, in a good way, with helping you secure and scale your Apple environment. They love Apple, and they want to help you make sure it's secure. Are you ready to get to work? Guarantee your Apple success with Adigy. Visit addigy.com/twit for a fast, free, and easy 14-day trial. Being proactive doesn't have to be a pain in the asterisk. Start your trial and learn why more than 4,000 companies use Adigy to remotely track, configure, manage, and secure their Apple fleet. Adigy.com/twit. Welcome, Adigy, to the Tech Guy Show and to our network. And thank you, Tech Guy listeners, for supporting us by going to that address. Adigy, ADDIGY.com/twit. I think you want to take this, check this out. Take a look. Adigy.com/twit. Now back to the Tech Guys. I'm calling it the Tech Guys.
With a Z.
Zzz. Hey.
Hey.
Ha.
Ahoy.
What is hip? I'll tell you, this cat right here, the hipster himself, Scott Wilkinson. When you walk down the street in Santa Cruz, do people look at you and go, hey, there goes the hipster?
The hipster.
The hipster. Scott, home theater geek. He is our AV guy at youtube.com/AVS Forum. He's rolling the cart in with the film strip projector. And he's going to set it up for our show today. What is the topic of today's film strip?
The topic of today's film strip is the World Series in 4K.
I watched it last night and it was beautiful.
Yeah, where did you get it from?
So, not the TV, because it's not on 4K on the TV or on the cable. But I subscribe to YouTube TV and pay a ridiculous $20 extra.
A ridiculous amount of money.
And I only did that back with the Winter Olympics a year ago because that was in 4K.
Right.
But I thought someday I'll be able to use this. And so now when I went to my YouTube TV, say I want to watch the World Series, it says, okay, you can watch it on your local Fox channel, which is channel 2 here, or you could stream it in 4K from Fox, and I chose that. It's the same broadcast, the same ads.
Yep.
But does that look good or what?
Oh, man. I didn't see it last night because I haven't signed up for YouTube TV. I'm going to because I want to see.
You could do it with the Fox Sports app, I think, as well.
You can. You can also do it with the Fox Sports app. That means you have to have a subscription from cable or satellite or some streaming service that gives you TV everywhere. That's the thing you need to sign into. You can also get it on Fubo TV, which costs $70 a month for their 4K option, I guess. But you're paying, what, a total of $85 a month for 4K? It's a lot.
It's cheaper than cable, I get. No, not really. No, there's no excuse. But I have a 4K TV, and it looks great.
And it looks great. It looks great. Now, I will tell you this. They're capturing it in HDR, high dynamic range, which is wonderful. But they're capturing it in 1080p and then upscaling it.
Yeah.
So it's not native 4K.
Yeah.
They have a much... Well, it's true. But they have much better upscaling at their end than we have as consumers at our end.
The only thing I will tell you is Fox likes to do extreme close-ups of the players
Yeah.
And in 4K, they look kind of grimy.
See every pore.
Especially Jason Worth. He is, you don't want to see a close-up. I'm sorry. But it made you feel like you were at the game. I mean, it was.
Yes.
But now I'm a little disappointed that it's upscale 1080. It looked like 4K. I mean, it really felt like 4K.
Well, and as I say, their upscaler, their professional upscaler is far better than the upscaler. If you got a 1080 signal into your 4K TV, it would upscale it to 4K too. It does automatically.
Yeah.
But it's not as good, not nearly as good.
And I tell you,
So
what a
you're
great game to watch in 4K.
Oh,
I mean, it was,
man.
So we did it actually just right. So I watched the beginning where Phillies were losing 5-0.
5-0.
I saw them come back.
Yep.
And then Lisa came in the room. So I said, well, let's watch Confess Fletch with John Hamm, which was quite good. Recommended.
Okay.
That was a kind of shortish movie. And I said, I wonder if the game's still on. It was still 5-5 in the ninth.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I got to see the best parts of the game. And I skipped. This is the only problem with baseball. There's often 5 or 6 innings where nothing happens. Right?
Nothing happens.
So I skipped the middle innings, and I saw a great game, and I saw it in 4K, and it really looked good.
Yeah. Really looked good.
Yeah. I can't say the price is right, but boy.
Yeah, right. Well, actually, YouTube TV has a 30-day free trial. So if you want to check it out.
Will all of the games of the World Series, I guess they will, be in 4K?
Yeah, wow. Exactly right. They have over 40 cameras on the field.
Oh, yeah, they did a nice job. Yeah,
including dirt cams. I didn't see any examples.
Oh, I did see the dirt cams.
What is a dirt cam?
So there was one great play, and actually, I think we at home got a better view than the umpires did. A play at second base where the ball hit the player but very quickly bounced into the second baseman's glove. He was called out. No, I'm sorry. He was called safe at second base.
Yeah.
But those of us watching at home, and Fox went through every camera. So they did every camera, including the dirt cam. And you were seeing it from the dirt's point of view. It's probably on the bag, but you were seeing it from the dirt's point of view.
The dirt cam is actually, in the
dirt?
ground.
Wow.
Yeah.
But that was really cool because we could see it home. And unfortunately, even though they reviewed the play, they still called, I don't know, fortunately, whatever. They still called the runner safe. But those of us at home could see in the split second that the ball hit his leg and then bounced into the glove, which means he was out. But anyway.
He was out. Now, dig this. The dirt cams, they're operating at 500 frames per second.
That's why, because it was super slow-mo.
Holy moly.
That's the only way you could really see it.
Per second?
That's interesting.
That's right.
That's
so
impressive.
what they actually planned ahead for exactly this scenario where only the dirt will know what happened.
See, then they need to make sure those cameras are available to the umps.
Exactly right.
That may be the case that the people in New York reviewing it did not have the dirt cam. Interesting. Anyway,
might have seen. Anyway, so
it's fun to watch. Sports is really probably the best use case for 4K. That and I guess movies.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. So and there are a bunch of other cameras that are doing high frame rate as well because, as you say, they really need a lot of slow mo.
Yeah, 500 frames is super slow mo.
500 frames
that's
is
impressive.
super slow.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because you're watching something that's normally 30 frames a second, so it means it's 15 times slower. So every second takes 15 seconds. Wow, that's pretty slow.
That's really slow. Exactly right. Exactly right. You can also get the 4K if you subscribe to DirecTV or Dish. They both have 4K channels that I think are carrying it. Comcast and Verizon, I'm told, according to Sports Video Group News, which is where I got all this information. And I want to thank Mike Heiss, our friend Mike, for hipping me to those articles because he just went to the SMPTE tech conference and they were talking about this.
It's funny because I've had a 5K TV probably for 4K TV for 5 years. And it's only now that you're really, again, unless you're watching movies, there's a lot of streaming in 4K.
A lot of streaming.
But television's not 4K.
No.
And most sports aren't 4K.
That's correct.
Yeah.
except for special things like the Olympics,
Yeah.
like World Series, Super Bowl. I'm pretty
Is it-
sure was in 4K.
Is it that they don't want to upgrade the cameras? They're still not using 4K cameras, it sounds like.
That's correct. That's correct. And that's probably why 4K cameras still aren't cheap. Well, some of them are, but these guys are using Sony. Fox is using all Sony cameras. I'm sure Sony charges a premium.
I find that hard to believe because I see YouTubers with 4K. Most
Yeah.
YouTubers are in 4K. Some are in 8K. It can't be that expensive.
It's not the cameras. I will tell you this. It's not the cameras. It's the
Production.
It's the infrastructure. It's the production.
You need a 4K
infrastructure.
truck.
You need a
out in the back.
4K
Yeah.
truck, and that's expensive.
Yeah. They'd have to upgrade all their
YouTubers don't
stuff.
have that.
They don't need a truck.
They are the truck.
They are the truck.
That's right. I read some interesting stuff about the audio, too. Minuteman Field in Houston, they're closing the dome. You know, they're closing the roof, and it's very reverberant in there.
It's terrible.
But Citizens Park in Philadelphia, it's an open stadium, but the sound guy says it can reach easily 100 decibels.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Because those,
Man.
Philly fans, they're loud. They're loud. I've been to games at the old Astrodome. They actually, it was so echoey and voluminous, they actually played recorded fan cheers into the park. Because otherwise,
Really?
because otherwise it sounded like it was dead.
Oh,
was-
man.
Yeah. Scott Wilkinson, youtube.com/AVS Forum. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
You bet.
Yeah, I really, I was pretty excited to see it in 4K. It really looked, It looked like 4K.
Yeah, that is cool.
It fooled me.
Yeah.
I thought it was great. The sound,
Like
I
I
have to
said,
say,
the-
on my 5.1 system,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was 4K, so I was watching on my 5.1 system, which is 1080, and I couldn't hear the announcers. There was such loud, the mix was terrible. The surround was so loud that the announcers were buried until I had to turn the volume up very high. Then I could hear the announcers, but it wasn't a good
And
mix.
everything else.
And
Yeah.
so the 4K has a 2.1 sound, and it sounded fine.
Oh, they're not even doing 5.1.
Well, I don't know if they are. I think they are, but it was a bad mix. When I went into my bedroom with a 4K and the 2.1, we don't have a surround sound system there. It was great. The mix was perfect.
Oh, wow.
So I think the 5.1 mix won't great. I don't know.
It won't great.
It won't great. I shall give you
Could have
the
been better.
control of the studio for the next 3 minutes, Scott.
Well, thank you so
You've got
very
3
much.
minutes.
You have 3 minutes. Make the most of it.
My last meal and testament. Well, hello, everyone. So nice to see you all. I am going to sign up for YouTube TV and watch some of this in 4K because I think it's Leo's recommendation there is very good. And I have a really nice 4K TV and a Sony OLED, so I am gonna check that out. We didn't get it last night, and that was an exciting game last night. Boy, Phillies finally got a tiebreaker run in the 10th inning. And I got to tell you, completely on a personal basis and having nothing to do with tech, I cannot root for the Astros. Because their cheating cost the Dodgers the World Series. And they didn't have to really pay much for it, as far as I can tell. So the Astros will always be the team to root against, in my opinion. Let's see here. User 0468, your thoughts on the new EU power consumption standards for TVs. I don't know them. If you can send me a link, I'll check it out. Pegged so low that 8K sets and even better 4K models will no longer be allowed for sale. What? That's kind of amazing. We got to see about that. Phoenix Warp 1, since when do you watch sports? The only sports I ever watch is baseball. That's it. And mostly because my wife loves baseball. We don't watch football. I have philosophical objections to football, or just about anything else. But baseball, I have fond memories of baseball. When I was a teenager, I used to go to Dodger Stadium with my grandfather, and we would, I'd have a sleepover at my grandpa's place, and we would take the bus down to Dodger Stadium and watch the game. So I have some personal connection to baseball and to the Dodgers, for that matter. So that is the only sport I'm interested in, really, and the only sport I watch. And I do talk about it here on the show. I'll talk about the Olympics, and I do watch the Olympics too, some of them anyway. And I'll talk about the Super Bowl, and I'll talk about stuff where there's a technical angle to it. But other than the Olympics, baseball is the only sport I watch.
3.
Let's see.
Oh, you don't have time. Hold on. Can you stick around for the top?
Sure, happy to.
Good. Thank you. ROCK in the USA. Is that the song? I'm just making it up as I go along. It is?
Nice.
Wow.
Good work.
I can name that song in 53 notes. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys, 8888 Ask Leo. We talked more to Mike B, just so you know. We put him on hold because we had to take a break. We talked more to him about his new iPad Pro, the M2 iPad Pro. And we both agreed, if you're coming from an older iPad, it's not a bad way to go.
Absolutely a good upgrade in that case.
We love our iPad Pros. You have an 11-inch.
I have the 12.9.
Oh, you did? You got the big one? Okay. Yeah, me too. The old one, last year's.
Yeah, who needs a new one after that?
Yeah.
Well, for a while anyway.
Mike B did not, very kindly, did not raise the specter of our bet. We had a bet, a little informal little bet, because he said there's not going to be an Apple event this month. And I said, oh, come on. How could Apple not do an event? How could they pass up on the opportunity to grab the eyeballs for an hour and sing the praises of their new products? But they didn't.
They didn't do it.
But maybe they didn't because, and so, Mike, you won. You're right. You're right. But maybe they didn't because they weren't ready to announce the laptops, because they haven't announced the laptops yet either.
Yeah, still haven't come.
And if you're going to do an event, just the iPads alone wouldn't have been enough.
Exactly. It's not enough. And I think that they were struggling a lot with iPad OS as well. And so they really needed their developers working on that to get it where it needed to be, because they ended up having to push out what they had not expected, push out the introduction of Stage Manager on external devices, or on external displays, rather. So there were a lot of compromises being made all at once, and I think that also played a role in why they didn't end up having an event.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Do you think they'll do new laptops next month?
Well, yes. Okay, so it's still October. I do think that there's a...
Yeah, what month is it?
Still October.
That's important. Because next month is Monday.
December, but
yeah.
Yes.
Or Tuesday, yeah.
I could still see some new Macs in November. I'm holding out for that.
And I think Mike is going to still win his bet, because I don't think they'll do an event in November. It's not enough. However, I do think we have pinpointed the date. I do this, and I did it last time, and I'll do it again. It's going to be November 15th. That they will announce this, or 14th, but sometime in the week of November 14th is when they'll put that out. And the reason is you got this thing called an election the week before. You probably don't want to step on the election. I guess they could do it as soon as, Tuesday, but I think probably the 15th. Much later than that, they've got a problem. There's Thanksgiving, of course. And then you get late in the month or December, it's too late for the holiday shopping season. You can't get them in the stores in time. So my guess is that if they're going to announce new laptops, and I'm pretty sure they will, it'll be the week of November 14th. Okay?
All right. Write that down.
Putting it on record, Mike B. Mike B says it'll be on a Wednesday. Mike B. 8888 Ask Leo. I'm not going to say he's wrong. I'm not. Mary's on the line from the beautiful Mission Viejo, California. Hi, Mary.
Hi.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you. I have a question on laptops.
Okay.
My personal laptop died. It was a Toshiba touchscreen. I was very happy with it, but it was just beat up and stopped working. And then my work laptop was a Hewlett HP, but I forget what model, but only about a year and a half old, and I spilled liquid on it and totally zapped it out.
Don't feel bad. I spilled liquid on my Mac a couple of weeks ago and brought it in. They said, that'll be $1,300 to fix. And I said, no way. I now have a a memento, which smells vaguely of coffee, oddly. So you want a Windows laptop, I take it?
Yes. Yes, and I use Office 365. I use Office products. I use PDF programs. I log into a lot of platforms that run, have a large. I need a large operating system, I guess.
How big a screen do you like?
Over 15 inches or 17 inches.
Okay. And do you ever connect it up to a big screen, or you just kind of carry it around and use it that way?
The one for work, I actually have what do you call it, like a external, where I plug it into two more screens. I forget how you call it. The data.
Yeah. External. You have two external monitors.
Yes, I do.
Nice.
Yes, I do.
That's a great way to go.
And even with the third one, with the laptop itself, it's like a third, because I use a lot of different programs and I have to log into different sites for work. So,
and is battery life, how important is battery life to you?
No, it doesn't really matter.
You're usually plugged in?
Yeah.
Yeah. So battery life is not important. That's good. The large screen laptops tend to be bigger and tend to use more battery. There are. I have a 15-inch Dell XPS in front of me, which I highly recommend. It's not inspiring. It doesn't make one jump for joy and say, what a beautiful machine, but it works very well. The Dell XPS line, and they have a 17 as well, is a very good line. I also think for work, Lenovo's, again, not inspiring, but the ThinkPads are built like bricks, easy to repair for the most part, unless you get the extra thin X1 variety of them. I would take a look at, if you want, you said you wanted a big one. You mean lots of storage, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. Lots of storage, because I really use, like, I could have 10 different programs opened at once.
Yeah. That's lots of RAM. Yeah.
That. And then I do need storage too. I don't know. I do use.
Yeah.
Everything goes to the cloud anyway.
Right. That's true. That's a good point. So maybe you don't need. Do you? So this is interesting. And the programs are mostly Office. Do you use any really demanding programs like 3D illustrations or CAD or something like that?
No, I do use PDF programs.
That's not too bad. Yeah, and Word and Office are not bad.
No, I use a PDF program. I use Excel, all the Office programs, but there's like security management platforms.
Yeah, and so if you want security management, you probably want the Intel EVO platform. That's just a marketing term, but it comes with vPro, which is their remote access stuff. I would say, ThinkPads are the way to go. The ThinkPad P is their very high-end, high power, and of course, much more expensive. You didn't tell me your budget, so I'm not going to.
I don't want to go totally.
I'm not going to spend that much money. Okay. So
what if I spill something on it again?
Yeah. Look at the T series, which is, I think, the most repairable ThinkPads. They have very good keyboards, and you're probably going to be getting what we call a 12th generation Intel processor. The i5 is more than enough for you. You can get 1 or 2 terabytes of storage. I think since you store most of your stuff in the cloud, 1 terabyte's plenty. They have a 16-inch. I don't think they go as high as 17. No,
it doesn't have to be 17, but I just don't
16's
want it more
good.
than 15.
16's good.
Yeah.
And they do sell AMD versions. If money is tight, the AMD versions are a little bit more expensive and perfectly fine. But I would look at the ThinkPad T series. These are business laptops. They look like business laptops. And they're built like tanks. And they do have the management, the vPro management that you want.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So Dell is good. ThinkPad is good. Honestly, HP's fine if you don't spill stuff into it.
They actually found the liquid still inside like 3 weeks later when I went in to get it checked.
When I brought my MacBook in, the guy says, it still smells like coffee. And I said, yeah. He says, that's usually a bad sign. That means it really soaked in.
Yeah.
So when he told me how much, I brought it back to the office and had our repair guy take it apart. And he showed me exactly what happened. There's a chip on the motherboard. I have the motherboard that's short-circuited. You can't remove the battery in these modern things. If you get something wet and you can pull the power immediately, there's a shot at drying it out before it gets short-circuited. But most phones and everything's got the battery glued in now. You can't take it out. So I couldn't remove power from that laptop. And I turned it off immediately, but that wasn't enough. It short-circuited one of the chips, and I looked at it, and it's melted. I mean, it really is melted. So it needs a new motherboard, and that's a big, expensive thing. So, yeah. Anyway, ThinkPad, HP, Dell, they're all very good these days. Wouldn't go with Microsoft. A little overpriced, a little underpowered.
No, yeah. Not that to get that one.
Good. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. More calls come. Yeah, I think you'll be very happy with it. Boom, 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 boom. Hello, Mr. Tuba. You like that joke I sent you, huh?
That joke you said.
I figured, he's probably seen it. Somebody.
No, I hadn't seen it before.
A listener sent it to us. SCUBA stands for something underwater breathing apparatus.
Self-contained underwater.
And tuba stands for terrible underwater breathing apparatus. A listener sent me that, and I thought, I'm sending that to Scott.
Oh, man. Yes, thank you very much. That is
first like terrible instrument. I was like, no, but then
Joanna, your wife, was asking whether she should replace her very old Samsung. She should.
Very old
with a Samsung S22, which I have. I have the S22 Ultra, or a new. She wants to use Android, so a new Pixel 7.
She likes using Android. Yeah.
And I sent you an article today from Tom's Hardware comparing the cameras of the two and declaring, and I think it's true, the Pixel 7 a winner. It's somewhat a matter of taste, but the Pixel 7 is fantastic, and I highly recommend it. Yeah. Less expensive.
And it's less expensive.
Yeah. Save a couple $100. So
now she was mentioning that. And you were mentioning, too, that the user interface, the Android, per se, is a little different between them.
It is. Correct? And she's a little used to the Samsung, but the new Samsungs aren't like the old ones. She has a really old one anyway. So she's going to have a new UI. And it's still Android. It's very, very similar. But she'll probably want to spend some time if she goes with the Pixel. This is pure Android. It's not no Samsung edition. So the system's preferences, the settings, are very different. She probably want to spend, when she gets it, some time just going through the system settings one by one, because things are in different places and they look different. She will quickly get used to it. It's so similar. Yeah.
She said she did say she went to a store and looked at them and said, the user interface on the Samsung is different anyway.
It's exactly right. Exactly right. But the fundamental stuff like the home, the back button, the recents button, the notifications, all that stuff is pretty much the same.
Yeah.
So what she'll want to do is just play a little bit with the settings. And again, it's not so different.
Yeah.
It's Android. It's Android at its heart. Other thing I don't like about Samsung, I'm not crazy about Samsung, is they have their own messaging app, their own browser. They have kind of duplicated a lot of the Google stuff, and I preferred not to. So I'm pretty happy.
Do you think that this will solve the other problem that she was having, which was once we upgraded to the Mac Mini from an old iMac, all of a sudden the calendar the calendar was not syncing when she put something into the phone, this old S9. It did not populate into the computers or to the Google Calendar on the computer. It did the other way. If she put something in on the Google Calendar in the computer, it populated into the phone, but not the other way around. And you mentioned a possibility of, maybe deleting.
Yeah, I'd start over. And the thing to remember is, conceptually, the most important thing is make the Google stuff on Google be the official version of your calendar, your contacts.
What do you mean the official version?
Well, you don't have to do anything special, but just think of it that way. That's I call it the canonical, the one source of truth of your calendar. And so what you're trying to do is you're trying to get all your other devices just to synchronize with Google.
Yeah.
And so, for instance, that Android phone should, when you change something there, upload it to Google. The Google Calendar and the Google Contacts should be the official one. And then trust everything else to pull it down. So I think the thing to do is for her to make sure that Google has everything. This is what I say.
I don't think she uses Google Contacts.
That's probably part of the problem. So she wants to really make sure she's doing that, and have nothing on either phone or either computer, any of that, local, but just say, no, sync. I want my calendar and contacts to be on Google. There's a couple of advantages. Of course, when you lose your phone, you're not losing your data.
Right.
But also, then you have a single source of truth, and everything synchronizes to that. And so by removing
don't store anything local.
Well, you will. They're going to do that, but you don't need to do it consciously. And it's really more a question of just saying, I want everything to be on Google. So delete it everywhere else. As soon as you're sure that everything's on Google, delete it everywhere else. So go to contacts.google.com and calendar.google.com. And then make sure it's all there. Once it is, then delete everything from your phone, from your laptop, from your everything, everywhere, and start over. Reattach your Google thing. And then in the Apple world, there are switches to say, well, what Google stuff do you want? Do you really want that? And you say, yes, I want address, I want contacts, I want mail, and I want notes. Turn it all on. And on the Android side, well, that's the natural state for a Pixel phone. So you won't have to do anything fancy with that.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
that's my suggestion anyway. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll work on that and see.
It works best. If you're willing to let go and let Google, it'll all work best.
Let go and let Google.
That's unfortunately. That's the thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you have these 4 minutes all to yourself because I'm going to get some coffee.
Go get some coffee, man. Hello, everybody. Let's see. Uncle Bick says, make sure she's adding the events to events on the Google Calendar app. It also may be showing the Samsung calendar. You can turn off the Samsung calendar in the app so it doesn't show up. Okay. Hey, Loquacious. Always good to see you. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. It's a lovely day here in Santa Cruz. Hey, Kay Woods, good to see you. Things are good here. We're just a little more than a month away from Tuba Christmas. I'm going to go do it in LA. I'm a little nervous about this triple-demic of RSV and COVID and flu, and the concert is in an indoor venue, but it's really big indoor venue. And at this point, I'm planning to do it. I really miss Tuba Christmas, and I want to do it. So, Loquacious is doing well. Saw my first close-up SpaceX rocket launch. All right. That's right. You live kind of near Vandenberg, I think. Let's see. Oh, Louisville, Kentucky. Ben Fitzpatrick. Good to see you. And it's nice and cool in Louisville, but that can be good. Dr. Mom, Grandma, yes, we all should be. Can you put an N95 over your tuba bell? No, they do make, believe it or not, they make covers for tuba bells that you can buy. And there are a couple people in the bands I'm playing in now here in Santa Cruz that do use them. Last year, had we done a Tuba Christmas at our regular venue, they would have required all the tubas to have them. This year, they're not. And I must admit, there's not a lot of air that comes out of a tuba, believe it or not. There's a lot of sound that comes out, but most of the air actually stays inside the tuba. Some gets out, but not a lot. And I've seen some studies done with how much particulates are emitted from brass instruments. Trumpets are more. I don't remember what the tuba was exactly. Let's see. Yes, get my shots and wash my tuba. Hey, Mez, should TVs be transported vertically? Yes, they should. Because if you put them on their back and you go over some bumps, there's much more likelihood of it flexing and bending and breaking. Empty pockets. How do you fix a broken tuba? With a tuba glue, of course. Gumby, opinion on wireless earbuds, regardless of the links I sent you. I haven't looked at a lot of them lately. I still love my One More stylish earbuds. I really like those a lot. Ben Fitzpatrick says he's buddies with the band Foghat. I remember that.
Oh,
band.
I remember Foghat.
Yeah.
Foghorn Leghorn.
Who was the, was it Mountain? Was it Leslie Mountain or something like that?
I don't remember.
I was in the studio of the guy who plays guitar for Stroke 9. Ever hear of them?
No.
Thank you very much. We got to go.
Thank you, Scott.
Okay.
Thank you,
Have
Scott.
a great day.
Thank you. You too. Enjoy.
Bye.
Bon voyage.
Bon voyage. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, episode 1939.
1939.
World War II is about to break
Wait 30
out.
years and we'll go to the moon.
Yeah, kind of fun. We could relive all of American history.
Yeah, in this year, big events in 1939.
We have not yet played a song from 1939, but stay tuned. This is a little contest we could play, a little game we could play. When you hear the song from 1939, raise your hand.
Yes.
And let us know.
And ring
the
bell.
first person to do so will win this cup of used pumpkin spice coffee.
Oof. What do you mean when you say used, Leo?
You're asking an interesting question.
Uh-huh.
Mike and I, during the top of the hour at noon, we have a habit of going out and making some coffee. And I made some coffee, but I did not check the Keurig. I don't know what happened, but I didn't check. I was distracted,
Yeah.
And I opened it up and I said, "Oh my God! Not only is this some sort of pumpkin spice coffee in here, but I don't think I put it in, which means it's probably the second time through." I don't know if I wish it were stronger or not.
Yeah,
to be
that's
honest.
true, because then you don't get overpowered with that horrible.
But the prize will be this twice used now, pumpkin spice capsule. No, there won't be any prizes. 8888, Ask Leo. Back to the phones we go. If you want to call, if you want to ask a question, 888-827-5536. That's toll-free from anywhere in the world. It actually is toll-free from the U.S. and Canada, but if you are somewhere else, you can still call using Skype out or something like that, FaceTime, something that calls a U.S. number, and it should still be free because, it's free. So it should still be free.
It should be free because it's free.
Ben in Louisville, Kentucky. Hello, Ben.
How you doing, Leo?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm okay. Got a lot of frustrations with this Lenovo laptop that I'm on.
I just recommended one, so now I'm worried. What Lenovo laptop do you have?
A Legion 5, as a matter of fact.
It's their gaming rig.
Yes, sir. And I got to tell you, the main frustration that I have with it is that it came with Windows 10, and it has an AMD processor with onboard Radeon graphics, whatever.
Yep.
And then it has an NVIDIA GTX RTX 2060, like that. And it's a nice laptop. My dad got it for me.
It is. It's a very nice laptop. Yeah.
Yes. But
Ryzen 7 and a pretty good laptop, 30 series RTX. I think that's a good gaming machine.
It's a 20 series. It's a 20
series. So it's a little older. Okay. I'm looking at the current generation, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't hate it, but the problem is that I'm kind of wishing that I had gone with the Intel version, because the problem is I'm wanting to put Linux on it, okay? And is that
I use Linux. I use my Linux with a Ryzen 7, actually, a 5900 at home on my desktop.
Well, the problem is, Leo, is the fact that I'm having trouble finding a Linux version that has a GUI applet for changing between the two videos.
Oh, discrete and motherboard graphics.
And, I was looking at maybe Manjaro or something like that, because I know they have decent graphics drivers with their hardware stack and all that. But the problem is, again, finding a GUI applet that's Archface that will work with it. And I looked at maybe Ubuntu as well, but again, I can't find a distro that'll actually take with this particular thing that I'm wanting to do.
Yeah. So the trick, and this is one of the issues with Linux, the people behind Linux, which is nobody, the users, I guess, because Linux is a free, open operating system. Yeah, the users kind of, at least some of them have a prejudice against what they call proprietary software. In other words, they want everything to be open source. The problem with video cards is most of those drivers are not open source. NVIDIA, notably, that's what you've got. You probably want, and I think you found a distribution of Linux where they're not so aggressively purist. Actually, times are changing. Debian, which was a famously obsessively purist, has now said, maybe we should include what they call non-free drivers in our distros as well. So with Manjaro, it isn't a big deal. It's actually fairly easy to switch between, because you have Manjaro, that means you have the NVIDIA drivers, to switch between desktop and discrete graphics. So Pop! OS also is very good about that. Pop! OS is the version of Debian / Ubuntu created by System 76. They also sell. You use Pop! OS?
I love Pop! OS. Yep.
They sell similar systems with these mixed relationships, and they're good at that too. So I'm just looking here at the Manjaro support. Have you tried Optimus Switch?
You mean optimus-manager?
Or manager. There's switch and manager. Yeah. Have you tried those? Supposedly that's a GUI that does what you say you want to do, supposedly.
Yeah, and I think when I was on Pure Arch at one point, I tried NV Control, but the problem was it wasn't GUI. But I'll try optimus-manager on this and see how it goes.
The other thing you can do is you can easily do it with command line, as you probably know, and it wouldn't be so hard to create just kind of a desktop shortcut that is really the command lines. Yeah. So you just have a little shortcut that says switch. I will.
There's something else I wanted to mention. I did get the iPhone 14 as we discussed a while back. As a matter of fact.
Good.
Yes, and also, remember how I was talking to you about the M1 MacBook with Micah a while back? I finally got that.
And?
It's awesome, I tell you. I love it. I have had zero problems with either device, and they're just phenomenal.
It kind of bugs me because you're absolutely right. If you're all Apple, everything just works really well together.
Yeah.
And it really peeves me because
I gotta stay.
I think the world should allow you to work well with whatever heterogeneous environment you want. Yeah. But Apple's interests, of course, are in making you buy more Apple stuff. So everything works best. And I have to say,
I mean, because you know as well as I do that Linux is not meant to run on. It's just not.
Yeah. No, in fact, it's really, don't buy a Mac for a Linux machine. The good news about the Mac is it is running on a Unix derivative.
Right.
So you have most of the benefits.
It's running through BSD.
Yeah. Well, it's a BSD. Yeah, sort of. It's complicated. Anyway, it's based on BSD. So I use, for instance, I mean, I'm a Unix-y kind of guy. I'm using Emacs almost all the time on my Mac. And I'm, writing stuff in Lisp, and I'm doing all this very Unix-y stuff, and it works great.
You're all over the place.
Yeah. I like the command line. And so I live kind of on the Mac. I'm weird. I live in the command line. But here's the beauty of it. You get both. So you have a command line Unix system, and then if you want a GUI, graphics user interface for things like your word processing and stuff like that, you got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, also, Leo, remember how I said in the chat room that I know Foghat? Well, the story behind that is, I'll be quick, is that I was browsing around one day because I used to play Guitar Hero fairly actively, and that's where I first heard their music. And I said, okay, I'm going to look up if there's a way to host them for a concert, which I reached out to their guy, Charlie, who used to work for them.
This is a band from my era. They were formed in 1971.
Yes, and I went to, and so I called him up on the phone and said, hey, Charlie, what's it like to get you guys for a concert? Then they sent me a flyer to my phone.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, this is a bit much. So we just drove up to Kokomo, Indiana, and hung out with them, and they were very nice. And they actually played. They played for us. And,
what's their big hit that everybody would know?
Slow Ride.
Slow Ride. Come on and take a slow ride. That's a great song.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to get Professor Laura to play it in your honor when we come back. 8888 Ask Leo, the phone number, 888-827-5536. And we will come back in just a little bit. Johnny Jet, travel guru, coming up. More of your calls
Slow
to
ride. Perfect.
Micah Sargent and Leo Laporte. I forgot about Slow Ride. Come on and take a slow. That's a great song. Love that.
Yes.
It's Foghat is the name of the band, Foghat, and it's their song Slow Ride.
Thank you, Leo.
Hey, what's your chat room name?
Ben Fitzpatrick.
Okay, Ben. Thank you. Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, always good to talk.
I like my Linux users. Yes, I do.
There are quite a few of them lately.
That's because I keep pushing it. So you use Pop OS?
Yeah, on that machine you gave me.
I gave you a machine?
You did.
I'm a generous guy.
You were very kind.
I don't remember giving you a machine. What kind of machine was it?
It's a laptop. It's a, oh, goodness.
Oh, it was like in the garage sale?
No,
Leo's garage sale?
You said, I'm bringing you this Linux machine.
Oh, yeah.
And I can't think of the name.
The Darter Pro from System 76.
Yeah, System 76. Yeah. So, of course.
I remember giving you that.
Yeah.
Good. You need to know Windows, Mac, and Linux.
Yeah.
If you're going to be a tech guy.
That also reminds me. I've been listening to albums with the hip DAC.
Oh, I forgot to ask you about that.
You spoiled me.
You like it? You figured it out, and you had the compatibility.
Yeah, I had both. One for USB-C, one for Lightning.
Perfect.
But now I just want to listen to, because I can just hear this mouth
much
sounds
nicer,
of the
isn't it?
musicians.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh, I'm so glad. Good.
Yeah. And I was impressed when I plugged it into the Mac, and it can go up to like 192 or something, whatever it is.
You can have really good quality.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's so great. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, so thank you for that as well.
I'm just giving it. Micah, it's kind of premature, but Mike and I are going to be doing a podcast together.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of a Ask the Tech Guys thing. And I want Micah to basically Micah to take over when I die. So don't get your hopes up, dude. No. I want him to take over and just kind of keep it all going forever and ever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Exactly. Yeah. Amen.
So that's the plan. So we're slowly, I figure, in fact, the next thing I'm going to bring you.
Oh, boy.
Is this, not to give you, but to lend you, and you and your friends can use it as long as you wipe it out afterwards.
Okay, what is now I'm really nervous.
Is the Quest Pro.
Oh, I really would love to see it.
So cool.
I thought you were going to bring it today.
I almost did.
You
were ready to try it? Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I almost
okay.
did, but I'm not really ready to give it up yet. It's too much fun.
No. I wouldn't even.
I'll bring it next week.
I just wanted to try it on and see what it looks like in comparison to the Quest.
I will totally bring it to you. Do you have the Quest?
I have the Quest 2.
Oh,
yeah.
I really want you to do it then, because I really want to know how it compares.
That's what I've been most curious about, is how much better it is. It was funny watching you on Windows Weekly wearing it and still being able to do things.
Yeah, you could see through it.
Yeah.
Better than the Quest.
Better than the Quest 2, because you can with the Quest 2.
It's color. It's still fuzzy. So it's like the virtual world feels very real and the real world feels very fake.
Whoa.
Oh, I should have brought it. I really should have brought it. Darn it.
I'm looking forward to watching the tech break on it.
Yeah, we had fun with that.
Good.
So
What did you end up doing to capture the video? Was it a Chromecast?
You can Chromecast the video, but what it doesn't capture is the real world.
Oh.
So when you're looking at the real world, it's black. So there's a game, I Want You to Die, that you're in a box and you open the box, and in the real world, you open these little slots in the door and you can see a little slot of the real world through it.
Okay,
so
that's
so cool.
Neat. That's really
But on the video, all you get is black. But yeah, you try it. And then there's a bunch of games on it. What made me think of this is I've been playing Beat Saber, and then I like even more. There's another one where you do stuff as you're playing, as you're listening to music. And there's it's like Synth Rider or something like that. But I got Lizzo on the Beat Saber, so it's really fun. You're gonna like it. I want to tell you about Noom. I was hanging on Wednesday with one of our great chatters, Retcon 5. Wasn't going to say his name. I guess he says it's okay. The whole story of this is I saw him just before the COVID pandemic. He came to one of our events. Big beard, big bushy beard, big guy. Love him. Got to know him a little bit. when we did the Alaska cruise, he said, I'm going to go. My wife and I are going to go on the cruise. I said, oh, great. Got to the boat, didn't see him. I actually messaged him. I said, where are you? I thought you were coming on the cruise. He says, I'm standing right next to you. I looked over. I said, who you? What? He had lost 65 pounds on Noom. I said, how'd you do it? He said, Noom. I said, I'm on Noom. Lisa's on. We love Noom. Noom is not a diet. Don't get your hopes up. Noom is a way of understanding why you eat, in my case, overeat, what the habits are that are causing it, making it hard for you to lose weight. But it's not about dieting. In fact, there's no foods that are off limit. Noom is a psychology-based approach that empowers you to build more sustainable habits, more sustainable behaviors with lasting results. More than 3.6 million people have lost weight with Noom. On average, I got to tell you, on average, 15 pounds in 16 weeks. 95% of customers say Noom weight is a good long-term solution. I'm not saying you're going to lose 65 pounds. Lisa lost, I think, 20. I lost 20. And I actually have more to lose, but that's the beauty part of Noom. You can do it. It's part of your life now. Every journey is different, though. So your daily lessons, you get. So what? How does it work? So you're going to get an app, your Noom app, that has regular lessons that you can spend 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes a day. It's up to you doing those lessons. They're about teaching you. It's kind of based on CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. They're helping you understand your relationship with food. So, for instance, I learned that I'm a fog eater. When I get stressed or I get really hungry, I go home and I stuff, and I'm not even aware of it. I just stuff stuff in my mouth, and I'm not even aware of it. One of the things Lisa and I do because of Noom is when we're sitting down to a meal. First of all, we sit down to dinner every night. Tablecloth, silverware, napkins. Turn off the TV. Turn off the phone. And taste our food. Sometimes I'll even close my eyes and chew it and taste it. It makes a bit. You would think it makes a huge difference. They've published more than 30 peer-reviewed scientific articles that inform users, practitioners, scientists, and the public about their methods, about how they work and why they work. By the way, that's me. You might not. You might be completely different. That's the beauty of Noom. You choose what you want, and it helps you in the areas you want health in. The best part, Noom does not believe in restricting what you can eat or can't eat. There are no off-limits foods. Whatever your health goals are, the flexible, non-restrictive program focuses on progress instead of perfection. You have a bad day, it's not a problem. You can have a coach if you want. I love my Noom coach. You can have a group if you want. You have the lessons. It's kind of what you need and what you want, what works for you. It has been a life-changing experience for me, for Lisa, for Retcon, and for Brianna Wu. She lost more than 100 pounds. Wow. On Noom. I didn't know it was Noom. I just knew she was looking really great. And I thought, wow. And when we were doing a show, and she said, yeah, it was Noom. Noom works. But it works in a way that you've never experienced. I've done every diet in the world. This is not a diet. This is learning about what's going on in your brain. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom Weight's psychology-based approach. You can sign up for a trial right now, Noom, N-O-O-M. Noom.com/twit, Noom.com/twit. Sign up for your trial today. You'll be supporting the tech guy, the network, and I think you're supporting yourself. I think this is something that you can do for yourself. Lisa started it because she wanted to support me as my spouse, right? Aww. And then she loves it too. It's great. Noom.com/twit. Thank you, Noom. Here we go.
Song from 1939.
Yep, 1939. I'm raising my hand. And guess what? I got some pumpkin spice. Old Spikins.
Wow, listen to that.
There you go, a little fog hat. I feel like a DJ once again. Professor Laura, you rock.
You do rock.
That must have been way back in the library. You had to climb. They had to get on the ladder. Oh, that ladder, I worry about. We have that ladder, that's on wheels, so you can slide like it along. Library, but I don't think nobody ever goes up on that ladder, so I'm really worried. Was it rusty?
Oh, man.
Was it really squeaky when you...
We appreciate your sacrifice. Thank you.
Because the library is alphabetical, but it's alphabetical by year. So if you're going to 1970, whatever...
Decade. It's by decade.
By decade? Oh, okay. Well, that's not quite so bad. But you had to go back to the 70s, didn't you, for that? So that's way in the back. There's spiders. It's dusty. Man.
The souls of lost DJs.
The souls of lost, the lost souls of
You actually have to
talk
talk to
show
one.
hosts from the
Yeah.
past.
It's like prove yourself.
Oh, man.
You have to pass their trials.
I think it is true that Art Bell has been haunting it. That's what I've been told. So be careful back there, will you?
Wait, is this in what did you call it? Beautiful
Parump?
wherever Professor Laura is.
Oh, she's in beautiful Sherman Oaks, California.
There you go. I don't know why that's so funny to me. In beautiful Sherman Oaks,
Sherman Oaks, California.
Sherman Oaks sounds like a retirement home.
It is.
Laura says it is.
Well, there you
We
go.
got to get you a microphone, Laura, because I can hear you. You can hear her, right?
Room can hear me.
The chat room can hear you. The podcast,
the
I
radio
think.
can't.
The radio can't hear
Oh
her.
no.
That's by,
I never knew
by
that.
design, I think.
Oh, okay. Because so, Professor Laura will whisper. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got it.
It's by design. 8888 Ask Leo. I don't think I have enough clout to get you a microphone. I'm sorry, Laura.
Listen, Professor Laura needs a microphone.
David's on the line from Westminster, California. Hello, David. The tech guys, Leo and Micah on the line.
Hey there. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling.
I'm trying to figure out how to use the Windows 11 Pro remote desktop feature to get onto my employer's computer.
Well, first of all, your employer has to let you.
Yes.
Oh, good.
And I'm using the app on my Mac, the Microsoft Remote Desktop.
Oh, that's part of the problem. Sure.
I didn't know that there was one. For
Okay. When I'm at his house on his network, I can do it.
Yes.
But when I'm not there, it doesn't work.
Because his network is protecting him against you.
Is it time for port forwarding, Leo?
Well, I don't like putting remote desktop out in the public, to be honest. There have been way too many security flaws. So in order to put a remote access solution out so that the public internet can get in, which is what you want to do, you have to, besides enabling it and all that stuff, you have to tell your router, I want remote desktop to get in. And
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it. The port for it is typically 3389. So you would have to get into his router, not yours, but his, and say, when I get traffic over port 3389, I think it's probably both TCP and UDP, I want to forward it to the IP address of the boss's computer, the one he wants to let you into. So that's, in effect, poking a hole in the router's firewall. And telling the router, and this is for safety, you know, there's a couple of ways to poke a hole in a router firewall. All routers are firewalls, by the way. Routers are designed to route inbound traffic, but they only route inbound traffic they expect. In other words, you're already in a conversation with a website or your email provider or whatever. If they get a packet of information from you, you know, David's sending some data along port 3389, they're just going to, the router normally will go, I don't know what this is, and discard it. They won't respond. That's what you're getting is a block. So you have to tell the router, you can, some people sometimes do this because it's easier, just put your boss's whole computer in what they call a DMZ, the demilitarized zone, which opens it up to everything. Don't do that. I presume you're the boss's tech guy, right?
Becoming the boss's tech guy.
Don't do that. You want to just be very specific and say to the router, look, 3389, that's for me. And make sure it goes to that IP address. So you're going to have to go back to the boss's house. You're going to have to figure out how to log into his router. Usually you do that with a browser to a specific IP address. You know how to do that, right? And then open up that port with it's called port forwarding, and say, hey, forward traffic along that. I expect that. Forward it to my boss. And
then
you can change the listening port on remote desktop on Windows. So make sure, you know, if you don't want to use 3389.
Yeah, I'm reading about lots of vulnerabilities on 3389.
RDP is a nightmare. I mean, if Steve Gibson were here, he'd be slapping me silly.
Quite literally on grc.com reading about it.
Yeah. But you can change the port, but that's really not much of an improvement in security. I would, you know, honestly, I would prefer that you use something like LogMeIn, which is, there's a free tier. There are a lot of desktop what is it called? TeamViewer. A lot of people use that. These are a little easier to use. Most of them use something called NAT translation, so you don't have to do port forwarding. They contact a server in the middle, and you can do that.
I understand.
Yeah. So that's the problem with RDP. The real problem with RDP is that Microsoft is not, I don't know, how do I say this without really insulting my friends at Microsoft? The software is a little buggy, and there have been many security exploits with RDP.
There's a reason why I haven't been a Windows user for
Exactly. You can look at ways to harden it, but
a follow-up question.
Yeah, sure.
If is there a way for, if he's logged in, if we went to like LogMeIn or TeamViewer, that he could be using his computer and I could log in at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be helpful.
Yeah. For instance, you can show him stuff.
Mm-hmm. Click here and then do this.
Yeah.
Oh, that email you clicked on that you shouldn't have? Well, here's how they
Honestly, if he's asking you to do this, and he's asking you to do this more than a little bit, just get him to spend some money on a professional grade solution. You'll be much safer.
Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Hey, my pleasure. Congratulations on your promotion to tech guy. With great responsibility comes... Wait a minute, I got that wrong. With great power comes great responsibility. And with great responsibility comes no increase in pay and a lot of pain in the butt stuff.
There we go. That's exactly.
Yeah, I used to work for a living. Yeah, I remember those days. Hey, good luck, David. It's great to talk to you. Thanks for calling. I think you get the idea, right?
Yeah.
I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the show notes to some stuff about how to, and probably there's some stuff about hardening it so that you don't get into trouble with it. But it's always worried me. RDP's not great. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. Thank you for playing Foghat. Wasn't that a great song? Yes. Elon said he did not lift restrictions on Ye's account. Said they did that before I got here, which is okay, fine. And he has not yet killed the Elon's private jet account.
Oh, that would be
That is our canary in the coal mine.
Yeah, exactly.
When that goes away, then you know Elon has decided to get involved.
His own personal...
Oh, I forgot to mention our T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot. I want everybody at Twitter to wear this T-shirt on Monday. Well, at least 75% of you. If you go to the Twit TV store, it's one of the featured products. Let's see if I can get a screen grab of that here. Johnny!
How you doing?
I'm well, Johnny. How are you?
Good, thank you.
This is the featured product. It says, the real Chief Twit, me.
Good one.
And if you use the offer code, despite what some billionaire says, that's what the tag says. If you use the offer code CLUBTWIT, you get 10% off. So it's pretty cheap anyway. We got it up like the day of.
Yeah.
Our amazing, my amazing team.
Did you tweet it out?
Oh, you know what? Did I? Yes, I did. And I said, I want 75% of the Twitter workforce to wear this on Monday. You know which 75% you are.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we did tweet it out.
Oh, the pink slip.
Since you're going to get a pink slip, might as well they wear the T-shirt. I should get it in pink.
Is he really firing 75%?
No, he now says he's not, but I think that's just because he doesn't want a mass exodus on his hands. He's probably not wrong that there's a bit of dead wood at Twitter. I've heard that from a number of sources, but all right, here we go with Jonathan Jett.
Not Jonathan.
Not Jonathan.
Jonathan Livingston Jett.
No, Johnny.
Have you seen Stripes? Don't call
Yes.
me Francis. Don't call me Jonathan.
Hey, it's time for Johnny Jett, our traveling guru. He helps us travel better with technology every week on the Tech Guys show. And he's here right now wearing his Yankees hat in shame.
Oh, it's not in shame.
In
but
sadness.
That's actually a costume, not actually.
Is that your
a
Halloween
Yankees fan.
costume?
Yeah, no.
Very scary. Are you going as Aaron Judge?
I have bedhead, which is why I'm wearing.
Oh,
my
yeah, that's a good
Yankees.
reason. Yeah.
Otherwise.
Johnny is a Yankees fan. That's okay. I'm a Giants fan. So what, right? Neither of us are in the World Series. So what?
Listen, I think everyone's a Phillies fan this week, unless you're from
I am
Houston.
too. Yeah, I'm a Phillies fan. And boy, what a game that was last night.
That was great.
Wow. Johnny, I flew to Vegas last week.
You saw Katy Perry.
I'm a Katy cat. Saw Katie's second to last show for her residency. Wonderful show. Really fantastic. At the airport on the plane on our way, Lisa and I wore our masks. Didn't even take it off to eat. Just maybe stuffed a peanut underneath. That's it. Then we get to the hotel, and it's jammed. By the way, we stayed at Resorts World. It's jammed. No one's
wearing a mask.
No one's wearing a mask, unless it's a Halloween costume. No one's wearing a mask. And weirdly, when you're married to somebody, of course, if she got COVID, I could, get away from her, but I don't want to. So we kind of feel like whatever you do, so shall I. Because that way, if you get it, I'm going to get it anyway. So that's so Lisa and I look at each other and go, and we take off the masks. And the whole 3 days we were there, at the concert, in the restaurants, dancing like crazed people down they have the dog house or thing, and no masks, thousands of people all over the world. Didn't get COVID, I'm happy to say. But then we get to the airport, dutifully put the mask back on in the airport and the plane.
At that point, forget that.
I know.
I mean, you're safer on the plane than you are.
I know.
in Vegas.
It's psychology. It's not rational. Thank goodness I didn't get anything, but now I think maybe the time to mask up again has come.
We kind of let our guard down once our kids went to school.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And our kids have been sick every week.
Yeah.
One of them's been sick.
You know why? 2 years, they didn't get any germs in their body. So they have no immunity, and they're getting all the RSVs and all that stuff. But anyway, the only reason I bring that up, it felt like in Vegas that it was like nothing had ever happened.
2019.
Yeah. It just, in fact, it was worse than that because people were so happy to be out of the masks.
Well, it's got to be a great feeling, right?
Oh, it was wonderful. I thought if I get COVID, it was worth it.
Well, what's interesting is that this past week, I think it was Sunday, or possibly the Sunday before, it was the most people going through security checkpoints than there has been the whole last 3 years.
Yeah.
The pandemic.
Not a surprise.
And this is a random Sunday in October. It was actually the 16th. That was 2 weeks ago. But even this past week, almost every single day, there's been more travelers passing through checkpoints than there have been in 2019 on the same day, which is saying something. It hasn't been like that. And what's even more crazy is that the airlines are, they're still not back. They don't have enough planes or crew.
Yeah.
So
I felt very lucky.
Just imagine once they get them.
Yeah. People are traveling.
They are
happy.
traveling.
I did notice that the tables weren't fully occupied. So maybe it wasn't a full house. It sure felt like it. I don't know if it was, but it sure felt like it. And it did feel good.
You mean the casino tables?
Yeah, the gambling.
I think people are like, you know what? They don't want to lose their money.
Maybe they want to gamble.
Yeah, they're worried about
They'd already gambled enough coming to Vegas.
Yeah.
They didn't want to do any more.
Yeah. By the way,
really good. I have to say, felt really good.
And they're expecting it to stay like this. The CEO of United Airlines this week said that he was shocked at the numbers. They all thought it was just going to drop off after Labor Day, as I did too. I thought the numbers would drop, kids go back in school. But he said because of the new work environment where most people are working from home, at least on Monday and Friday, that every single weekend is now like a holiday weekend.
My home is Caesar's Palace this week.
which I think is great because, people are finally realizing that, life is short. Get out, see the world and travel, and you can do it and work at the same time.
It's pretty
I've been doing this for 20 something years.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great, isn't it?
It is.
Bosses don't seem to like it. There are some companies where the bosses are kind of aggro.
No one's productive anymore.
You get back here.
I can understand that. But if you want to save money, you need to book in advance, and just remember that now every weekend is basically a holiday weekend, and prices are going through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet they are. I'm
So
a
keep
little
that in
worried.
mind.
We have a Mississippi cruise planned in a couple of years, and I noticed that the river is a little low for boats.
It's drying out. Same thing with Europe. I mean, it's a problem.
I like river cruises, but maybe
I love them.
Maybe that's a thing of the past.
I hope not. But depends who you ask, and we'll have to just wait and see. But they are drying up, no doubt.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But this week I wrote a post about. I had a reader ask me a question about getting juice jacked. So I thought of you.
What's that?
Juice jacked is when you plug in your phone or whatever you're charging your device into a USB port, like at the airport or an airplane or a rent-a-car, and they have some kind of malware on there.
Oh,
so
you
and
need
I remember you telling me
a
you told me a
USB
long time.
condom.
Exactly, that's what you told me, a data blocker. So I said, that's one way to do it. Another way is obviously just bring your own charger and plug it into the wall.
We bring
which is what I do.
We don't. What we do normally is we bring a battery with us.
That was my third
an extra
option.
battery, and that way we always have juice wherever we are. And it's
a power
safe.
bank you bring. You bring a power bank.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I was recommending. But do you still use those USB condoms?
I know, because I don't ever, but that's really important. And I should probably say this more often. We get to the hotel, and most hotels now have USB ports in the wall.
Definitely.
Still, don't use those because data can come in over those, which means they're potentially hazardous. They're malware. So bring your own charging brick, we do, and plug into the plug socket, and you're safe that way. I don't use I have in my travel bag the little USB. They're just little things you put on the USB port, and all it does is it blocks all the wires except for the power wires, so there's no data transfer. That's a safe way to do it. But I find having power banks is convenient for a variety of reasons, and of course there's no problem there either. So that's what we mostly do.
I'm the same way.
Yeah,
but
do not trust a USB key you find on the ground or you find anywhere. Throw it out. The hackers call that a candy drop. And do not plug your...
But how about one that you're given to at a trade show?
I'm always very nervous about those. I prefer not to. And nowadays, they really should just say, hey, we have a drop box. Here's the address. That's a much better way to do it. And similar to a candy drop, don't plug your devices into strangers' USB ports at a bar.
How about
at a hotel.
rent-a-cars? How about rent-a-cars?
I think you're probably all right. I haven't heard of... in theory, a bad guy could put, how they have card readers,
right? That
they put on the card slot. In theory, I guess there could be a USB thing they put in there, but I think that's pretty hard to do. I guess on a rental car, you're probably all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll have to check and see.
Because I always plug it in, except in a car rental.
Yeah, sure.
But even on a plane, I don't use the USB ports on the plane.
If you have a power bank, it has a plug to charge off the wall or off. You could use the power bank as, in effect, a barrier. So because they don't have data coming through their ports, so plug them into the car and then plug your phone into the power bank. That would be that would be for sure safe.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, good. I just wanted to make sure.
That's a great question. I'm glad.
Chief Twit,
yeah,
so.
Very important travel advice. Be careful where you stick it. JohnnyJet.com is his website. JohnnyJet.com/newsletter. They're free and well worth it. He's on Twitter. He's on Instagram, and he's right here every week. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That's a very good point. I'm glad you brought that up.
Good. I've been meaning to ask you.
Yeah, well,
but I just had this reader question this week.
I didn't plug into it. It's tempting because now they even have USB-C at the hotels. Mm-hmm. I just didn't. I thought, I don't know what's on the other end of that. But perfectly legitimate. I mean, I bring a USB hub that I plug into the power, and then I put everything on that. But perfectly legitimate, and actually maybe a better solution is to bring your charger for your power bank, plug that in. Even to USB is fine, because the power bank's not going to pass data through.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I got 2 quick questions for you.
Yes, sir.
One, did you guys ever try Quordle? Did you play it? I've been meaning to ask you that.
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's
Sorry.
all right.
Have you been playing Quordle?
No, I have not actually. I haven't been playing Wordle either lately.
Yeah, you get out of the habit of that stuff.
But I used to play every day until I think I mentioned it.
My problem with Quordle is it was too dang hard.
No, it's not.
I don't want to do 4 at once.
And then my last question, I brought this up months ago about my new laptop, which I have not transferred to yet because the main reason is because I have all these folders on Outlook that I've been storing for years that have everything I ever need, like all these different contacts or tips or whatever.
Easy peasy, dude.
But I don't want it on the web.
Oh.
That's the only way I can do it, right? Is there a way to?
Oh yeah, you can back it up, but just to a external drive. Is Outlook it's all mail?
Yeah.
Yeah, just export your PST files. You can back them up. In fact,
can I put them on, can I put it onto the new computer that doesn't even,
it's just a PST file and then you import it.
Okay.
Yeah. So you could you could totally do that. I mean, the way Microsoft wants you to do it is with OneDrive. And that's pretty transparent. But yeah, Outlook will export individual folders or the whole thing. You already have the whole thing as an Outlook file called outlook.pst.
Right.
But I would recommend going through individual folders, saving them out, put it all on a USB drive, and then when you get to Outlook on your new computer, importing those.
Are you serious? Each one?
Well, they have a backup also. They have a backup.
I mean, because I'm so organized on there where I'll have
Well, that's the trick is
contacts for
how
every
do you
country,
get the folders
every state.
over, right? If you're not willing to use the cloud, of course, your email lives in the cloud, don't forget.
Right.
So
I mean, I could use it. I just want to stay organized.
Yeah. Who's your email provider?
I use Outlook.
Okay. So when you mean Outlook.com, Microsoft's Outlook?
Yeah.
Like it's Johnny at Outlook.com?
No, sorry. I'm still going through GoDaddy.
GoDaddy.
Oh.
So GoDaddy's probably an IMAP account, which means all the folder structure that you create locally is on the IMAP server as well. So when you get your new computer, you open up Outlook, set it up to, in fact, you don't have to, all the email is, don't worry, it's all there unless you actually explicitly delete it.
No, I downloaded it but my old
it's all
emails
there.
are
It
not.
doesn't go away.
But my folders are not.
Yes, they are.
No, I'm telling you.
So if you log in, so you're
people.
not. So the way you're handling folders is not using Outlook, creating a new folder. Well, you should have done that. Because then GoDaddy has all your folder structure, and as soon as you log into GoDaddy on the new computer, not only will you get the entire folder structure, you'll get all the emails.
Right.
So if you have something separate, that's fine.
So
but that you need to just back up on a USB key or a USB drive and bring it over.
All right. I will try and find some time. Maybe over Christmas.
Well, so
break.
you got it. What you did is you exported it from Outlook and then deleted it on the server?
No.
It's still on the server. Unless you explicitly deleted it, it's still on the server. So before you do a lot of stuff, when you get the new computer, just log into your GoDaddy account and see what happens. I bet you it's all still there.
All right.
Thank you, John.
Thank you. Have a great week.
Bye-bye. 1939 was a great year. Hello, Mr. and Mr. America, all the ships at sea. It's 1939. We both raised our hands, so you get my cup of Old Spice latte.
Ew, Old Spice.
Old Spice. Old pumpkin spice. There's no pumpkin in pumpkin spice.
Yeah, that's a good point.
No, it's just the spice.
The spices.
Yeah. It's the spice you would put if there were pumpkin in your cup. 8888 Ask Leo. That's the phone number. Gumby raised his hand. So Gumby, I'll be packaging up this fine Keurig K-Cup and sending it out to you. Ew.
Gross.
Let's go. Should we go on with the calls?
Let's go to a call. Yeah.
All right. Jamie's on the line. Where's Jamie from?
Jamie's.
Hi, this is Jamie from Corona.
Corona. Hi, Jamie.
Hi there. Hey, Leo. I'm going to, at the end of November, take about a week to a week and a half to camp my way up to Oregon, about the Salem area.
Nice.
And yes.
It's beautiful up
I
there.
can hardly wait. It's my first trip in my van conversion all by
Nice.
myself with my little dog.
Oh, how fun.
I love this.
Yeah,
What
thank
kind of
you.
van did you get?
I have a 2013 Chevy Roadtrek. It only had 10,000 miles on it when I bought it.
I bet you that's the case. There's a lot of people like me who think this would be a great idea. Try it and then say, nah, and give it to you.
Never mind.
Yeah, never mind. So
Yeah.
that's going to be so much fun. And what kind of dog?
Thank you.
A Yorkie.
I asked
Yeah.
that for Micah. He wanted to know.
I had to know.
Yeah, and he's a great little camper. We've done a few short trips, and he's just a wonderful little camper with me. So,
Oh, you're going to have
Yeah.
so much fun. But what can we
Yes,
do to help your technology on this trip?
pardon me?
How can we help you?
Oh, I am okay. So I looked at the different routes in the highest elevations up 395, up the 5, and then up the 101. And I think I want to go up the coast because of the elevations. I am less likely to encounter snow and ice in that.
Yeah. The problem with the 5 is it's boring, but if you go 101, it's beautiful. You're going to have a lovely
Yeah. Oh,
trip.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yay. So my question is, I have a Samsung S9 Plus, which is only. Oh, and I have my services. It was Sprint, so of course now it's T-Mobile. Would I be better off to spring for a 5G phone, or would that make any difference in the receptions I'm going to be able to get?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
That is a good question.
Because your S9 Plus is getting LTE right now, isn't it? Do you know? Does it ever say LTE on the phone?
I don't think
that
so.
phone is from 2018. Let me just look. I'm going to look at the specs. I go to GSM Arena, which is a place where you can see the individual specs for all these devices.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you're not. In which case, did T-Mobile ever contact you and say, we'd like to give you a new phone?
Oh, yeah, they try to talk me into that.
Okay,
but,
that's why.
I like to keep the things for a long time. We just sold our 72 Dodge van last year.
So it does support the 4G bands, and it does LTE. So you at least will be able to get connectivity. And, it does also support bands that are no longer supported, 2G and 3G. Those are all gone now. So the only band that matters is the 4G band, but it does support that. You asked an interesting question, which is connectivity better on LTE than it would be on 5G? And in my opinion, 5G, one of the 5G bands will actually be better. So the bands that you're on, the frequencies that you're on, are pretty high frequencies. Higher frequencies don't travel as far. T-Mobile made a deal for what they call low-band 5G in the 700 megahertz range. One of the reasons that was such a special deal, they got the TV stations to give up those 700 megahertz frequencies. You may remember that when they moved to digital, and the FCC sold them off, made billions of dollars doing that. And one of the reasons they did it is because 700 megahertz is a very low band and travels very well for greater distances. So I think getting a phone that gives you 4G plus 5G, which is any modern phone, would almost certainly give you more choices and might even give you better connectivity in difficult places. I can't promise it will, because really the most important thing is how close T-Mobile's towers are. But T-Mobile's, like most carriers, is very good next to the highway. It's when you get off-road into the countryside that it gets worse. But as long as you're near 101, T-Mobile intentionally, in fact, you'll see as you drive, if you keep your eye peeled, maybe ask your dog to look, you'll see these towers as you go. They're very distinctive, the cellular towers, and you'll see them all along the highway. That's where they put them.
Someone in the chat has said, we have an RV van and love our T-Mobile mobile router and use it for on-the-move internet all the time. So they're specifically using T-Mobile network.
That's another option.
Way of doing it.
For your van conversion, you could get one of these, what they call a mobile router. It's not a phone. It uses the same cell signals, but you keep it in there, and it becomes your Wi-Fi access point. It becomes your internet. And
so that would be like another device, and I would just have
be like having a Wi-Fi router in the conversion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But at the very least, it speaks to T-Mobile's ability, assuming that this person who's, has an RV van, they're using the T-Mobile network whenever they're on the go. And so at the very least, it sounds like T-Mobile's
they've got the connectivity. Yeah.
So even if you stick with T-Mobile on a newer phone where you've got 4G and 5G, it sounds like it would
The
work.
mobile routers, so you'd pay extra. You wouldn't have to get rid of your S9, although maybe it's time. It's 4 years old, so maybe it's time. But what you would do is, instead of making your phone a hotspot for your other devices, you'd have this little T-Mobile thing in there. They tend to be faster than using your phone for it, and they can handle more devices. I think they usually can handle up to 5 different devices connected. So your phone could even connect to it. And generally, when you're doing that, they charge less per megabyte or gigabyte than the phone does. The hotspots are a little more expensive usually than these mobile routers.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's no data limits and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But you do have to you plug it in. But I think
another
that's
question
a great idea for an RV or a conversion. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you. Is there a VPN? Should I buy? Is there? I don't understand
you don't need
how to get.
Don't worry about a VPN. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're really fine. When you might worry is when you stop at a coffee shop or a gas station and you start using their internet. But at the same time, nowadays most of the sites you go to are encrypted, and maybe not your S9. Maybe, though. I know. I think more modern version. I know Android 13, not Android 11, which I think you're on, or 10. But Android 13 does have a VPN built in. You just turn it on the phone. So you don't even have to subscribe to a VPN.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think VPN is for a very particular security posture. What we call a threat model. I don't think. Well, you know better than I. I don't think you're working for a 3-letter agency, are you, Jamie? Or the military, or a politician. I mean, there are people who should worry, but you're just driving down the road going to Oregon. I think you're probably
the Yorkie works for the CIA.
The Yorkie works for the CIA.
Okay,
She should have that. Then you need something.
He's my bodyguard. Okay.
Hey, I think that sounds like a wonderful trip. Are you doing it now?
Yeah, no, I'm camping in the desert for Thanksgiving, and from there I'm gonna drive over to the coast and start going up.
Fun.
So cool. Going up from there, and then I'm gonna spend the month of December and into January with my sister up there.
Oh, Out of Sync is telling me only the Pixel 7 gets the Google VPN for now. Yeah, I have it on my Pixel 7. If you were going to get a new phone, a Pixel would be the one to get from Google themselves, because then you get the VPN. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. More to come right after this. A 3-letter agency, the Department of Public Health. That sounds like a wonderful trip. I'm jealous.
I know.
I think you're going to have fun, except it's going to be a little rainy. Oh, she's hung up on us.
Bye, Jamie. Safe travels.
Have a good trip. Bye-bye.
Yeah, well, stuff on your screen there.
All right, what'd you do? Yes.
Something on your
Stuff
screen?
on my screen?
On your logo there on your.
Oh! He put a TM. Well, we probably should be doing that. You don't have to do it. It's not required. You have a trademark whether you put that there or not.
I kind of like it.
I like it too.
So I went to a concert. At the Fox in Oakland. It was great.
What'd you see?
It was a
Fog hat
from the 2020, postponed a couple of times.
Oh, nice.
Amazing.
On freeze?
It was like a founding member of Pink Floyd got a band together playing a bunch of old Pink Floyd music.
That's neat.
Who?
With a founding member. That's cool.
Sasha Full of Secrets.
Oh, Mick Mason. Yeah.
So we toured in 2017, Sasha Full of Secrets.
Oh, how fun. I would love to see that.
And this is the Echoes tour, so we knew.
Oh, he was doing Echoes?
Feature, the second half of Metal, the album Metal, Echoes.
Oh, how cool is that?
So good. The band is it was amazing.
I got something to tell you.
Yes.
When I was visiting Alex, he's in the old Lucas building, and there's a lot of different creators in there. There's a guy, Sean, I met, who, among other things, makes instruments. He made for Mickey Hart the wildest percussion instrument I've ever seen. Apparently, Dead and Company uses it, and Mickey's own band uses it. It's this big. It's cast aluminum with piano strings strung across it and a custom pickup, and you hammer it or play with it, and it makes the most amazing, and the sustain goes on. It's incredible. You would blow, if you ever get a chance to go to Alex's facility, just ask him and see if Sean's there. It is incredible. So he's made one years ago for Mickey. It's kind of fallen apart. He's made newer ones, and then he kept one for himself, so he can play it. And there's all these percussion instruments, different mallets and stuff. You can play it by hand too. Yeah.
One hand to make chords while you're pounding it.
No, it's to piano strings, so you can't really. I don't think you can make chords with it. Maybe you can. He was using his hands. Maybe you can.
Well, you can slide though.
Yeah, you could slide. He was sliding, and the sound is very beautiful and otherworldly. And, you hear these kinds of sounds, especially like in horror and sci-fi with dong. And I always wondered, that's not a bell. What is it? It's something like this. It's really cool custom instrument.
Very cool.
And the sustain, he said, oh, yeah, you can walk away. It'll go on for hours. It was very cool.
Oh, speaking of sustain.
Yes.
I didn't know this. There's this weird bird sound in echoes.
Mm-hmm.
I think the 6 a minute.
I know. It's like a warbling kind of.
And it's the guy playing the guitar, and he's just turning up the volume.
How
the
funny.
Guitar is sustaining by itself, and he's just turning the volume up. And,
I love it.
Playing with.
It's
I
so
have no
cool.
idea how that was made.
That's so cool.
But
I will listen to it. Nice.
It was.
I love Echoes. Echoes is one of my favorite. I like the older stuff.
There's a DVD of
Love Metal.
the 2017 tour.
Okay.
It's Saucer Full of Secrets 2017.
Oh, I'll look for it.
But the band is also called Saucer Full of Secrets.
I didn't know Nick Mason was still around.
Oh yeah,
that's cool.
In Roger toured with Dark Side of the Moon in 2005.
Yeah, was Mason with him?
No, but at the Hollywood Bowl, there was a couple nights at the Hollywood Bowl where Nick Mason came.
Oh, that's
played
neat.
That really cool part of Time.
Oh, that's cool.
He played on Time.
That's cool.
Not as cool as the other guy, like Roger had, but oh my God, it was great to see Nick Mason play it.
Thank you, Johnny. Well, hey, how are you today? Leo Laporte here. The Tech Guy, Micah Sargent, Tech Guy 2.
Ahoy.
Ahoy, hoy. We are here to answer your questions, take your calls, talk about tech. You might remember I mentioned that I bought this when a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, Facebook announced that they were going to release an updated version of their Quest, which is their virtual reality glasses. Mm-hmm. You have the Quest 2.
I do, yes.
I didn't buy that one because I had to have a Facebook account, and I didn't know I don't have one. I wasn't going to make one. So they announced that they're going to let you make a Meta account instead.
Yeah, which is
probably just like a Facebook account, isn't it? So I thought, all right. And then they announced this I thought really interesting Quest Pro. How much is a Quest 2? Like $300?
Oh, goodness. The price just went up. They raised it from what it was before. I think it was $299, and they raised it to $349 or something like that. Oh, that's too bad.
The nice thing about these is they're not attached to a computer.
Right.
So you can... I've had every Oculus Rift, and I have the HTC Vive, and, they're great, but you have to attach them to a very high-end computer to do it. So that was kind of a breakthrough when the Quest 2 came out. Now the Quest Pro is out, in every respect upgraded. More cameras, better screens, and a much higher price, $1,600.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't realize it was that much.
Comes with the hand controllers and a really kind of cool charging base. You just kind of put them on there and it charges them. And I thought, well, I've been down on VR. I'm very negative about VR. I feel like tech wants to do it because they're looking for the next big thing, but I don't think we are that interested.
There's so much push for it, but when you've got such a large swath of the population that quite literally cannot use VR because it makes them sick.
My wife can't use it.
Yeah.
She can only use it for about 30 seconds. And then,
how can we say that's going to be the next thing when you've got so many people who can't even participate?
Plus, it isolates you, so it's a little scary. You're you're putting this helmet on and you can't see what's going on.
Yeah.
I just feel like
it's a whole ordeal.
I think really the problem is in theory, it's a good idea, but the technology is still not there yet to make it light easy.
It's nowhere
affordable.
near frictionless enough. Exactly.
So, but I thought, well, I'm going to give it a chance. So I got the Quest Pro, and I have to say it's very vivid and very real. It's the best I've used yet. I forgot to bring it today, but I'll bring it next week so that you can try it, because I didn't realize you had a Quest 2. So I want you to compare it to the Quest 2 experience. There is a game, I don't know if you've tried this on the Quest 2. It's called somebody's Plank, Harry's Plank or something like that. And all it is, you put on the headset. It's got very
Richie's
good sound.
Plank.
Richie's, yeah. Not Lionel Richie, just some other Richie.
Not Renee.
And you're on a city street. It's kind of cartoony. It's not super realistic, but it's and you turn around. There's an elevator. So you get in the elevator, and there are a couple of buttons. You press the top button, and you go all the way up. I don't know. It's 50 stories up. The elevator opens, and there's a big drop in front of you, and just a little thin plank. And the idea is, go ahead. You know you're safe. You're in your house. You're on a carpeted floor. You're not going anywhere. Go ahead. Walk out on the plank. I couldn't do it. I could not. My stomach was churning. I knew I was not going to fall, but it's just real enough that I couldn't do it.
Wow.
Then they have another one where you have rocket jets that you hold in your hand and you can fly around. They have one where you're Santa Claus and you're throwing presents down chimneys, but in all of them, you're up in the air looking down hundreds of feet. Oof. And it convinced me that there is something about the reality that your brain is somehow thinking you're up there flying around, don't fall. Lisa did it, but she could only do it for a minute or two before she just walked right out. What are you talking about?
I think I could. Yeah.
You think you could do it?
I'm curious about this.
All right, next week.
Yeah.
We're going to do it on the air.
Do it on the air.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
We're going to let Micah walk the plank.
If I can. We'll see.
There's also, and I do like these, there's a lot of games. They're kind of, remember Guitar Hero or Rock Band, where there was real music and you had fake instruments.
You like beat.
And you're really all you're doing is the beat, right? And the idea is to match, and you're playing a game to see how well you can match. You're not actually playing an instrument.
Right.
In fact, I stopped playing it because I thought, if I put the same hours into actually learning the guitar as I am into learning this stupid game, I could play the guitar.
Play the guitar, yeah.
Now all I can do is play a plastic guitar in Rock Band. But anyway, they have some of those where instead of you're in a world, Beat Saber's one of them. There was something called, I can't remember, something synth. It's coming flying at you, and you have in your hand either lasers with Beat Saber or balls, colored balls, and you're basically the beat's coming at you, and you're using your whole body now. So it's a kind of exercise. Yeah, your heart rate goes. So you played Beat Saber.
Yes.
Yeah, so they had a few of those, and I really enjoyed those. Those were a lot of fun. Then there was a kickboxing one where I just got my behind beat. So I don't think I'll be back playing that one.
I can't do any of the ones where if the person remains stationary for most of it, I'm fine. But there are some games where you use like a joystick to move forward in space.
Okay.
Those
make you
ill.
So there was a game where you're kind of like Spider-Man. And you send a thing and you swing up instantly queasy. Because in that case you're moving a lot through the air and your ears are going, you're not going anywhere. What are you talking about?
You're standing still. Why
your eyes are saying you're flying and your ears are saying no, you're not. And your brain goes, well, clearly there's a problem. You must have eaten some bad mushrooms. So let's just get rid of those now. 8888 ask Leo. So I don't know if this is the next big thing. I don't think it is. It's very appealing the first time you play it.
Yeah.
First few days you have it, and then it's like,
That's what it's kind of been with me for the Quest 2. My partner's a lot more regular on the Quest 2 than I am. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm going to lend this to you. I'll bring it next week. We'll make you walk the plank.
I can't wait. That'll be fun.
And then you can take it home and see how it goes. But I think no one listening should spend $1,600 on this.
Yeah, and by the way, prices $399 and $499
for the Quest 2.
For the Quest 2.
Well,
yeah. And they used to be less than that, but Meta raised the prices.
If you're going to spend that much, I guess it might. It depends how committed you are to this, but it's one of those things you buy. Seems like a really good idea. It's fun for the first few days. Christmas will be great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Christmas Day, the kids will come running downstairs. You won't see them for hours.
Yeah.
And then a couple of weeks later, you say, whatever happened to that Quest Pro? Do you ever use that? No. You know what I've always said? The best VR, we already have it. It's called movies. Mm-hmm. When you go to a movie and the room is dark and the screen is big and the sound is full, and everybody on that movie has worked towards a single goal, is to make that story feel real to you. Mm-hmm. And the music and the sound effects and the acting and the lighting and all of that contribute to that. That's VR.
And you don't get sick.
You're not wearing anything on your head, but it's when you come out of a great movie and you're sad or happy or inspired, that's a VR experience, isn't it? It's the best storytelling, and we've perfected it over 100 years. So it's really, really, we're good at it. I think VR is very primitive compared to that. It's, but will the day come, maybe in 100 years, that the best storytellers, instead of making films, are making VR games? Probably.
Yeah. I really think augmented reality is going to be where it is, more than virtual reality.
Doug M. in our chat room says, you know what's really good? Real reality. Go outside.
I don't know about all that.
Well, that's one of the things you notice in every movie and book about virtual reality. It's always popular because the world is so horrible. Nobody wants to go outside. 8888. Ask Leo the phone number. Your tech guys are here. Micah Sargent, Leo Laporte. We'll take more calls in just a bit. Coming up, third hour of the show as usual. In about half an hour, Dick DiBartolo, our GizWiz, with a crazy gadget. Stay right here. I did do, Lisa and I, when we were in LA, it's closed now, but there were these storefronts where you would do a VR. And what they did, which was smart, was you'd put on a helmet, but there was a real world with some physical objects in it. You couldn't see them, so they didn't bother painting them or anything. But you were moving. It was a Star Wars experience, so we were shooting. Darth Vader shows up and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was great.
I was going to say, you probably would not feel as sick because you're
Didn't
actually
feel as sick at all because you're moving.
Yeah.
And she, who is very prone to that, did not. So we really enjoyed it.
Nice.
She has a picture of us doing it on the wall. Whoa, 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 whoa. Leo Laporte and Micah Sargent, your tech guys.
Hello.
Let's move on. We got to get some calls in. All right. I've been very, very bad. Talking. Brian on the line from Long Beach, California. Hi, Brian.
Hello.
Thanks for being so patient.
No problem at all. I wasn't doing anything.
Neither were we.
My question is kind of simple. I just never heard of this device before. It's a magnetic iPhone charger. You don't plug it into the phone. You just attach the magnet on the phone, and it charges it up.
It's a miracle.
Yeah, it's a miracle. I had my phone get stuffed full of linen before, and I had to fly it all out.
Yeah, a lot of people have trouble with charging every once in a while. And the first thing you should do is look at that lightning port, and if you get some compressed air, blow it out. You'd be amazed what's in there. I've actually brought it to the Apple store and said, it won't charge. And the guy says, oh. And he used a paper clip or something and just picks it out and here. Oh, you fixed it. That makes you feel dumb.
Exactly what they did to me.
Yeah, it's got belly button lint in it. So Apple announced MagSafe is what they call it, wireless charging. I think with the iPhone 11 or 12. It's been a couple of years.
Yeah.
They put magnets in the back of the iPhone, and they sell chargers, but a lot of companies do too. And it's actually, the magnet is not the key on this. It's called wireless charging or Qi charging. In fact, I have an iPhone 14, and I've been using for several generations of iPhones a wireless charger. This one's called the Tilt or the Lilt or something like that. But it's just a little easel, and you put it on there. It doesn't go like the magnet does, but it charges because it's called inductance charging. Really, there's a little coil inside the phone, and the magnetic field created by the charger, it's just like those inductance cooktops. They actually generate heat with the little coil in there, and the heat's turned into in the case of a stovetop, the heat's used to cook. In the case of the electric coil, they charge the phone. It's a slower way to charge. It's not quite as efficient. maybe it's a little harder on the battery because there is a lot of heat generated by it, but it is certainly a lot more convenient. You don't have to get it from Apple. And most phones now, by the way, support wireless charging. And many even support some sort of magnetic. The reason there's a magnet is because then you get it on right.
Perfectly aligned.
That's the problem, right? Is if you misalign it, you won't get any charging.
You'll get more. If it's misaligned, then you're more likely to get more heat, and so they will. They tend to charge it at a lower wattage for the sake of making sure that it doesn't get too hot. But with magnets involved, you can align it perfectly. Then they can increase how quickly it charges because they don't have to worry about too much heat building up against the back of the device.
Which iPhone do you have?
It's i12.
Okay. I think the 12 did it, yeah. So there are lots of places. Do you do have you ever done wireless charging?
No, this is my first time.
Yeah. So there's almost an infinitude of wireless charging devices from Apple and from others. Apple charges more than anybody else does. I get mine from Anker. Anker, A-N-K-E-R, makes wireless chargers. But if you want the magnetic stuff, you have to look for one that does what's called MagSafe charging. Doesn't hurt the phone. In fact, I've got credit cards in my case, my phone case. It doesn't hurt them, apparently. But it does charge the device. And the magnets kind of keep it safe and secure on there. Nomad makes some that I really like. My wife uses... it's nomadgoods.com. They make a charger that charges the phone and the watch and the AirPods, and she likes that. It's called the Base One Max. So if you have an Apple Watch, that's a good one to get. Who else do you like? Anker Nomad?
Really is, yeah. Anker, Nomad, and then Apple itself are the three that I kind of
Anker's the least expensive, I would say. But I don't know if they do MagSafe. Do they do MagSafe? I don't know if they do.
Yeah, Anker has some. Well, they have magnetic.
Oh, they don't call it MagSafe.
There's one product that they just started selling that's actually Apple MagSafe full on.
Okay.
But for the most part, it's just magnetic.
I don't think you really need the MagSafe.
You don't need to have that. The only thing that you get is if it's a MagSafe compatible product that charges, you'll get the faster charging. But with your iPhone 12, that doesn't matter anyway.
You're not getting fast charging. And truthfully, you don't want fast charging. It's better for the battery to charge it a little bit slower.
Yep.
And you're going to do it overnight probably anyway, right?
Right, overnight.
Yeah, so any of these will work. So Anker.com, ANKER.com, and in their collections, they have a magnetic collections. We'll put a link in the show notes to the magnetic collections. I mean, if you like Apple, Apple has a number of ways to do it. They have a little puck you plug into the wall, and then it just goes right to the right exact point on the iPhone. It's kind of satisfying.
Yeah, it does. It's nice how it aligns.
I like that.
Flocks.
And then you know it's doing it.
Good suggestions. And
thanks for the call. I appreciate it.
From now on.
Thank you, Brian. Have a good one. Not David. David's coming up. Scott in Ventura is next. Hi, Scott.
Hello, Leo. Hello, Micah.
Hello.
What's up?
I'm finally getting out of the 18th century of iPhones, looking at getting rid of an iPhone 6S Plus.
Wow.
And wondering what your thoughts are on either the 13 or the 14.
Okay, now one thing you're going to miss, and John, my studio manager, is saying in my ear, you're going to lose the courage port. They call it that because Apple said it took courage to get rid of the headphone jack. Do you mind?
No, because my next question is about earbuds.
Yeah, because that's kind of, and a conspiracist would say that's why they got rid of the headphone jack, so you'll buy the more expensive wireless earbuds.
Right.
So what do you want to spend?
Well, there's only $100 difference right now between the 13 and the 14, and I'm wondering if there's a benefit of one over the other in your humble opinion. Micah is our iOS expert. What do you think? They're pretty close.
Yeah, they are very close. It's just.
I'll tell you one reason to spend $100.
Okay, good.
You will get one more year of updates. Since you are a keeper of old phones, one of the reasons you have to move off the 6S is it's not going to be getting updates anymore, right?
Exactly.
So you will get one more year if you buy the 14.
That's precisely where I was going.
Oh, good. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your thunder.
That's true. If you are making that upgrade and you hold on to your phone a lot, I recommend this at any time. It's, making the choice to make the investment so that it lasts until the iPhone 22 or whatever happens to come next.
I don't know if I'll last till the iPhone is
Well, you will, guarantee you, and you'll be glad you have that phone in the year 2525.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. The camera's marginally better. There's some new features. You know what I kind of like? Okay, here's the thing I like about the iPhone 14. The always-on feature. The screen stays on, so you always can see what time it is. And the dynamic island. The little lozenge at the top for the camera does stuff. So when you're playing music, it turns into a little controller that you can expand. When the phone rings, you can see the person's name there.
Okay.
I like those features.
I didn't at first because there weren't a lot of apps that were making use of it, but now that apps have been updating, it's been great.
If it's only $100, I'd say do it.
Make the investment.
Yep.
Okay. And the Anchor 20 watt or the 30 watt?
20 is all you need for the... Well, if you're getting the new one,
30 watt.
30,
Yeah.
yep. Leo and Micah, your tech guys. Because I want to hear the chorus. Here we go. Let's go. Fame. Are you doing the little fame dance, Laura? Okay, good. Is that the one where she pours the water on herself? No, that's another thing. That's flash dance. Okay. That's a different one. Thank you, Professor Laura, for that fabulous musical introduction. Leo Laporte, Micah Sargent, your tech guys. Now we say hi to David, Hillsboro, Oregon. Hello, David.
Hey, Leo and Micah, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
We're great. How are you?
Good. Thanks for taking my question. So we are an Apple family, Mac family. My wife and I both have MacBook. I have a Pro, and she has an Air, both of the M1. And we have kind of a home office sort of set up in the main part of the house. And we would like to be able to have either a monitor or an iMac in there, and then it kind of needs to look nice. You know, it's kind of weird, but people will come into the house. I want something that sort of blends in and looks good, not just a monitor sitting on there. I don't know if that's weird or not, but
it's not weird. It's fine. You want like a family computer that looks good in the space, right?
Yes, exactly. And I was looking at the studio monitor, which is really expensive, but it seems to work really well with...
You have one of those, don't you?
Yeah, I do have one. I hesitate to.
I do not recommend it
as an expensive solution, but it depends on exactly what you are wanting.
Are you going to hang it on the wall? Or are you going to put it on a desk? What are you going to do?
We're going to put it on a desk right in the front room, and so for home use, like maybe light video editing. I have a FPV drone. My wife, we have
fun.
a laser cutter.
Oh, you guys are geeky.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit, yeah, but nothing.
I don't like the studio monitor. Well, there's a lot of reasons. First of all, it's overpriced, underpowered, and Apple just threw a bunch of stuff in it because they had the parts.
Yeah, it did feel like
it's not a good choice.
Frankenstein machine.
It's a Frankenstein. And I think it has big bezels, which is one of the things I think is most unattractive about it. Big silver bezels. That's the frame around your monitor. Most modern monitors have no bezel or hardly any bezel at all. And I think that's, at least to me, that's going to be more attractive. There are some very nice 49-inch wide monitors. They're basically like two high 4K monitors next to each other that are great for productivity, not super expensive. Dell sells some. Acer sells them. Asus, LG rather, makes them. So maybe even get it from LG. They're beautiful. They're big. They're very good for productivity. And and you might even look at a curved one, which, depending on your point of view, is more aesthetic. I think the curves are. Don't you think the curves look?
Curves are fine, but it is also like it looks like a gaming machine.
It's a little big, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is why you suggest you noted iMac, right? Because you get color, you get slim.
They're pretty.
They're pretty.
But they're only 4 inches. They're small screens.
They are.
Yeah.
They're not huge. My wife really likes the look of that. She likes the minimalist. There's not going to be a lot of wires. We don't have to plug in the laptop.
Go for it.
But and I'm totally open to that. I think that's great. We're happy with our M1 machines. But so my work laptop, and I sometimes work from home, is a Windows machine.
Oh, he wants to use the monitor.
Oh,
I
not
would like
an
to
iMac.
use the
no.
monitor, keyboard,
You can't.
mouse, but I don't.
No, that monitor is unavailable to you. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. Can I use my MacBook as a second screen in conjunction with that? If I was watching a video on how to do something with,
Not
with,
precisely. No.
You can AirPlay from
so
it, right?
what you can do is you can turn on a new feature in macOS that lets you use one mouse and keyboard for both screens. So the iMac would technically be running separately as its own thing, but you can use the trackpad then on your
that's
Mac
cool.
to switch between both machines back and forth.
So it's like having two screens, but it's actually even better because you have two processors.
Processors, yeah.
All right. So, and if I want to go with a separate monitor, and I'm not sure I could sell her on a huge monitor in that space. I know you've talked about, I think, LG ultrafine monitors.
Very nice.
Before, that's
Yeah.
maybe 27 to 32 inch.
Yeah.
They're still pretty chunky.
Is it?
Well, they're going to be big. I mean, the iMac is as slim and beautiful as you can get, frankly.
Okay.
Another option is maybe to put it, again, I don't know what the space looks like. Maybe get a TV.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, and I could hook the laptop up to the TV. And
Yep. That is platform agnostic, so you could put your Windows machine there, plug it in. Then you could use your Mac as well. Yeah, actually, that sounds like the best option for you, especially because lots of TVs these days.
I'm sorry, the back of the monitor will be facing like the room where people come in.
You're going to get an iMac, dude.
Okay.
I hate to tell you. The iMacs are designed, they even said that.
Mm-hmm.
They said, we're going to make them this way because most of the time people see the back of your screen, not the front.
Yep.
They're two-tone. They have a different color in the back than they do in the front, related to, but not the same. It sounds to me like that's a perfect choice. And I bet your wife already has her eye on it. So
I think so. So the second question then, we know how Apple runs with updates. Is there anything on the horizon with either an M2 24-inch again or 27-inch maybe?
Well, I would wait. If you can wait a month, I would wait a month. It's unknown. I haven't heard any rumors of a new iMacs, which is weird because they need to be updated. And in fact, for a long time, I thought, why 24? Why not do a 32? Why? And so I could just see you buying the 24-inch iMac, kind of a compromise. And then November 15th, oh, by the way, we're doing an M2 32-inch iMac, same color scheme, same beautiful. That would be a great choice.
If by Thanksgiving there's still not a new one, then I think you're okay going with what's available. But I would wait until Thanksgiving.
So the rumors as it stand are we're almost certain there'll be new M2 based MacBook Pro, same design as last year, 14 and 16 inch. There'll probably be a Mac Mini. Unclear whether that'll be redesigned with an M2, and possibly an iMac Pro, which would be a larger version of that beautiful sherbet-colored iMac. And then I imagine end of the year they'll announce a Mac Pro that will be available early next year, and that will be a standalone. Honestly, a Mac Studio under the desk connected with one wire to a very nice display wouldn't be a bad way to go either. But you're right. If you need to see the back of it, there are no displays that look good from the back.
Save for the iMac.
The iMac, they specifically designed it that way, which is interesting.
I know. Yeah.
They must have known you were coming.
I'm sure they saw me coming from a mile away.
I just wish it were bigger.
Me too.
I really, in every respect, it's the same basically M1 as you already have. So if the speed and power of that machine are adequate, that's basically what you'd be getting in that beautiful display. But it's just too small, if you ask me. You could get an external monitor off of it, I think, right?
Yeah, but then you've got two screens.
Now it's really ugly.
Starting to look bad. And they won't match.
I would wait. Let's see what they do.
Yeah, wait till Thanksgiving.
We'll wait.
Yeah. Then you might be thankful.
I can definitely do that.
Yeah, I got the new M2 to replace the coffee-stained 14-inch M1. The M2 is a little bit faster. You know, when I do my benchmarks of the software that I'm writing and stuff, it's about, it's about, as Apple said, 10, 20% faster. And that's noticeable, though.
Yeah, I love this MacBook.
It's beautiful.
We tend to keep our stuff for quite a while until it's like done.
Well, then it's always
worn
best to
out.
get the thing that just came out, because that's going to work the longest for you. And I think that I would be shocked if they don't update that M1 Mac, iMac with an M2 at least, and I'd love to see an iMac Pro. Hey, thanks for the calls. The GizWiz coming up next. I am so terrified by Dick's backdrop. Is that a spider web or is this your install?
Oh, spooky.
Oh, tomorrow night we're doing our virtual Halloween meetup. So we started last night hanging stuff.
Those are all
and I said to Dennis, we're going to leave it up for Leo because we'll never get this down and then up again.
Oh, your pick this week, Dick, is so perfect because we just talked about this with Johnny Jett earlier today.
Okay, great. Great. Yeah, I know last week we did something weird because Leo was away.
Yes,
so.
when the Leo's away.
What did you do? What did you do?
We did.
There it is. He's got it.
Ruckus FX, where it has 120 little music clips. And you alter it by shaking this around and jumping around.
It's like a TikTok machine, TikTok sound machine.
Yeah, exactly.
You dance around and it makes sounds. Bump, bump, bump.
Yeah. And it has a little recording in it. You can record what you did and you can download your own music to it. It's kind of fun.
I gotta fix this Mac.
Yeah, have you seen this thing in person that you
last
said?
week either?
I can't get any video to play all of a sudden.
Yeah, and it makes it freak out. The machine gets.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I gotta fix that. All right, we'll be with you in a jiff.
Okay, very good.
I say, do you feel love? I feel love. Oh, I know what it is. I know why I feel that way now, because here he comes. He's dancing onto the floor. You like the floor lights we put in there for you, Dick? It's pretty good.
Oh,
huh?
great.
As you
It's
step.
super.
Yeah. And then Dick's got, of course, his satin shirt up into his waist. Got the little red cornu thing. I think that's some sort of symbol of something. I don't know what. And the white pants and the white disco boots. You couldn't look better. Welcome, Dick T. Bartolo, our disco guru and GizWiz.
Thank you, Leo. I'm just calming down a little bit after that introduction and sliding across. We just waxed the floor yet again.
Oh, I tell you.
Do those spins as I enter the door.
So nice, so good. Just put a little wax on the heels of your boots, and you'll be
exactly.
You'll be ready to go.
You know, people used to bring, I think, sawdust to a disco.
Sure.
Wow.
Sure.
Yes, and you had to be very careful because it really made the floor slippery, but it made it really. You could do.
Are you posting old pictures of yourself or something? Because I'll tell you why. My wife said, wow, Dick looked good in his youth. And I'm just wondering what she's seeing.
Oh, well, there was a picture from Tahiti, I think it was, George Woodbridge and I couldn't believe, I looked pretty decent. And then recently I found.
Was this on Instagram or Facebook? Where was this?
It was on Facebook and Twitter. And then yesterday I found some old pictures of me with a beard. I decided at one time I would have a beard, and it was just like 2 or 3 days ago. And I had an old sailor hat, and so I thought, you know what? Taking care of a beard is way too much. But I'm going to take a couple of photos of me in the beard, just so people will know I had it. And then I found them, and so I posted them online.
There you are in 1971 in Amsterdam, hanging from the rigging. Some great pictures on your Twitter feed. These are great.
Oh, yeah. That's from a mad trip. Bill rented a sailing ship. I mean, Bill, we did incredible things with Mr. William M. Gaines.
William M. Gaines.
Mad.
Yeah, the guy who created Mad Magazine. And for many years ran it. Dick was one of the first, the original, the usual gang of idiots. One of the great writers for Mad Magazine. Still is. And we're very fortunate to have him. He's also our gizmo wizard. We call him our GizWiz.
Yeah. Well, I have something. It's not crazy because Mike and I did crazy last week. I have something from Anchor. It's been out now about 3 months. and it is called the Anker 727, but it doesn't fly.
We were just talking about Anker. They should really buy some ads on this show, for crying out loud.
Yeah, they should.
Actually, why should they? They're getting free plugs right now.
No, that's true.
Free plugs. It's almost like you were making a pun there.
Oh, get it? Plugs?
Oh, yes.
These plugs are not free.
No, they are not. So this is the 727. It has 2 USB-C ports, 2 USB-A ports, and 2 AC outlets.
Oh, wow.
But kind of the amazing thing is how thin they made it.
It's about the size of a large power bank. Not even a medium power bank.
You know what? In their press release, it says it's the size of an iPhone 13 Pro Max.
Perfect. That'll give you a great size idea.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But when I got it, I thought, when you plug something in here, the outlets are so thin. How can that possibly work?
Yeah.
Well, as you plug something in, the outlets rise up.
No.
So that it becomes.
What?
Whoa, that's neat.
That's hysterical.
It is quite amazing. And another thing about it, and when I mention this, if you happen to buy one of these, never lose the power cable, because the power cable has its own plug.
Proprietary.
Yes, exactly. Because plugging it in, it is very thin for a three-pronged plug.
But this would be so great for putting in your suitcase and traveling, or your briefcase.
Keeping your devices safe.
Now
from USB
it's on the expensive side, but check your
Amazon,
because
they
right
change
now,
all the time, don't they?
I know it had 20% off. Or
$95 I see.
Oh, 20% off. It's still there.
Oh, wait a minute. Here it is. Apply 20% coupon.
So that drops it to what, like 79, 75, something like that.
Oh, now I want one. But you can only buy one with that coupon. So I'll buy one.
Well, how
tomorrow.
many do you need?
One for me, one for Lisa. That would be.
Okay.
Oh, this is great. I'm ordering it. I'll have it tomorrow, just in time for Halloween.
Oh my gosh, yes. And there was.
It's now $82.45.
Oh, okay.
So their definition of 20% differs from mine slightly, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
But it's very.
What's something in front of Dick? What's going on there? Did your calendar pop up? There we go. Okay, never mind. I think a calendar popped up and said it's time for Dick. Yeah, he's here. He's already here. We don't need.
Oh yeah.
We don't need a reminder.
Wow.
He's already here.
Yeah,
so Dick, this is a new record. Before you've even finished talking about this, I already bought it.
I know.
I love it. I love it. This is a great idea.
GAN charging.
Great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yes,
it's a GAN
Prime. I think they call
this
their
is the
technology.
breakthrough. Is this new gallium nitride process for making? You could make chips with it too, but making charging devices means they're much smaller, much cooler, and they can have much more wattage on them. It's a big breakthrough.
Yeah, but not for the cookies, Leo. I tried them. I had no chocolate chips. I put some of these GAN chips in.
Yeah, they're a little crunchy, I find.
Crunchy. Yeah. I got a little charge out of it, but I don't recommend it.
Well, the nitrides are better than the gallium arsenides. I wouldn't want to put those in. No. Very cool. So this is the new Anker kind of. I guess it's
727.
It is a power brick, right?
Yes,
it's
it's
everything.
It's a little bit. Well, it doesn't.
It has a battery. Oh, it doesn't charge.
Everything. But
no, it doesn't charge.
Charger.
So it's like a USB hub, kind of. Yes.
Yeah.
But you get to the hotel or the cruise ship, and you plug it in, and then you can plug everything you have in.
Exactly. It's up to 100-watt charging.
Oh, that's great.
In this guy.
Oh, that's really cool. Well, you've done it again, Mr. D. I tell you, you come up with the best stuff for our show. 100-watt high-speed charging. So you'd plug your laptop into this.
I like that.
You could plug your phone, your watch, your everything into that. That's
router,
really cool.
I guess.
And you could use the USB ports, the Type-C power delivery ports, or the AC outlets. That's amazing. Have you used it, Dick, or you just have a dummy model?
I have not. I've not traveled. You've traveled way more than me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't need it on the subway.
What
so
I
I've just
find
left
these
it
days,
home.
it used to be that you'd get to a hotel, there'd be one plug socket, and it would be over there in the corner, and there's a lamp in it, right? And you'd have to kind of finagle it. But nowadays, most hotel rooms, if they've been updated, have lots of sockets. They have USB ports. The hotel we stayed in the other day in Vegas had a Type-C port. I'd never seen that in a hotel before.
Wow.
So, yeah, they're getting pretty fancy. If you want to know more, go to Dick's website, gizwiz.biz, gizwiz.biz. And while you're there, you're getting your last chance, right?
Yeah.
To play the What the Heck Is It contest, a close-up picture of a gizmo or gadget. There are 6 autographed copies of Mad Magazine for the right answer. There are 12 for the best clever wrong answer. You're going to have a close-up picture of some gizmo, and you're playing for the 70th anniversary Mad Magazine, autographed by Dickie D. That's got to be worth something. That's very cool. Thank you, Dickie D.
Thank you, buddy.
Have a great week.
Happy Halloween.
You too.
Don't forget his podcast, gizwiz.tv. Thank you, Micah Sargent.
You're most welcome, Leo.
It's so much more fun doing this show.
I know. I love that.
I love doing it when you guys, I got the whole gang in here. So come back again next Saturday. I'll be back tomorrow all alone, all by myself for another Tech Guy show. And don't forget, Micah and I both do podcasts galore on our podcast network, twit.tv. I am still the one, the only Chief Twit. Wishing you a great Geek Week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's it for the Tech Guy show for today. Thank you so much for being here. And don't forget, TWIT, T-W-I-T. It stands for This Week in Tech, and you'll find it at twit.tv, including the podcasts for this show. We talk about Windows on Windows Weekly, Macintosh on Mac Break Weekly, iPads, iPhones, Apple Watches on iOS Today, security on Security Now. I mean, I can go on and on. And, of course, the big show every Sunday afternoon, This Week in Tech. You'll find it all at twit.tv. And I'll be back next week with another great Tech Guys show. Thanks for joining me. We'll see you next time.